Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are answering your YouTube questions. But look, if you are watching this on the replay, I do want to let you know that we put timestamps down into the video description. So if you have a specific question you're looking for an answer for, or you just want to see the things that we talked about during this stream that can help you with your YouTube channel, then go down to the video description and look for those timestamps. You can also see them at the bottom of the video player as well if you scroll across that. So if you are watching this on the replay, make sure that you check that out because you might miss some good stuff if you don't. In addition to that, you can just lay back and listen to this, in the background or while you're working or driving to work or whatever the thing is.
You can lay back.
Yeah, you just lay back and listen to it in the background. Yeah, so you can just learn a bunch of stuff about YouTube along the way. And when I say we, in terms of, we, I mean myself and my brother from the same mother, Dee. Dee, what is going on, man?
Just lay back.
Just
listen to the smooth, silky sounds of Nimmin Live.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
how's
right.
everybody's week?
Yeah, bring your towel because it's going to get real wet. Isn't that what they used to say in the Boys to Men song? Yeah, I think so.
Listen,
but yeah, they were singing about all kinds of different stuff. But hey, today's stream is brought to you by TubeSpanner, by the way, which will help you plan, create, and grow your YouTube channel. You can try TubeSpanner for yourself at tubespanner.com/Nick. All kinds of helpful tools for you there as a content creator. We're going to be doing a demo here a little bit later in the stream, so make sure that you are sticking around for that particular part. But it's going to be here in just a little bit, not right now, because I'm talking to Dee about how his week went. So yeah, Dee, how's your week?
I had the most spectacular week.
All right, let's hear about it.
I didn't tell you this yet. I saved.
Oh, you saved it.
I saved the best part. So I had a little holiday. We had a 10-year anniversary.
Yep. Congrats. Hey, cheers.
10-year and babe, if you're watching, love you. 10-year anniversary.
Yep.
But the highlight, beyond spending time with my significant other, is. Do you know the Baby Shark song?
Hey Don, what's going on, man?
Do you know the Baby Shark song?
I don't.
Who knows the Baby Shark song? It's very popular in the kids thing.
Yeah,
I can't hum it. You're going to copyright claim.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
So we were at the beach where they were breeding baby sharks, and I got to sing the Baby Shark song to a tank full of baby sharks.
Oh, nice.
So top that.
Nice.
However good you think your week was, top that.
Yep.
I sang Baby Shark song to a tank full of baby sharks.
That's great.
I sang it to a tank full of baby sharks in the egg.
Okay.
That were in the eggs.
Just kind of getting them ready for it.
I sang it to a tank full of baby sharks that were 1 month old, that were 3 months old, and to one baby shark that was 6 months old.
That's great.
I did that.
Nice.
Each one of them.
Nice.
And everyone that was watching me was like, what is this guy doing? By the end, everybody was singing with me.
Nice.
I had the entire group, like an orchestra, singing the Baby Shark song to a room full of baby sharks.
That's fantastic.
It was magical.
Yeah.
So unless you can top that, I don't even know what you're doing here.
Yeah. Right. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Shark Scrapper, who was hanging out here too. Is just on topic. You know what I mean? Hold on. Just in here on topic.
And
saying that he loves baby sharks.
If you don't know the Baby Shark song, just go to YouTube, type in Baby Shark song, have a listen, and come back.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is YouTube's algorithm is probably going to be like, oh, hey, this is about sharks. Let's show this to shark enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Just into divers.
Top that. That's all I'm saying. The only thing that could have made that better is if I were actually diving in the ocean and I were surrounded by baby sharks and they were contemplating devouring myself. They're not going to devour my significant other because I wouldn't put her in that situation.
Sure.
But if they were looking at me and they were like, we could probably eat this guy.
Yeah.
And I diffuse the situation by putting them to sleep by singing them the Baby Shark lullaby.
That's good.
That's the only thing to top that.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than that,
that's good. How do they respond to the baby shark singing?
They just swim around.
They didn't pay much attention, or were they kind of bobbing a little bit? Like, yeah, we appreciate this extra love you're giving us, Dee.
Well, the ones in the eggs.
Okay.
I don't know.
Who knows for them?
I'm guessing that they're
in there like, woo, that's my jam. I can't wait to get out.
They're going to grow up to be very healthy sharks.
Okay.
Possibly the healthiest sharks ever. Beautiful sharks.
Beautiful sharks.
The most beautiful sharks.
The best sharks anybody's ever seen.
Nobody sings Baby Shark like I sing Baby Shark.
Okay.
But the other ones, just swim around in celebration.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're here to answer your YouTube questions. Now you've heard my baby shark story. If you do have a question, head down to the description. We have a link down in the forum. You can put your question there, or you can go to, what's the URL?
Jerry says, baby sharks never want to hear that song again. The URL is nicknimmin.com/ask, and it'll send you right there.
No, they were actually baby sharks.
Yep.
They were literally baby sharks.
Love it. Love it.
Like, that wouldn't make any sense if they were children.
Yeah.
Pretending. No, they were actual baby sharks in a shark breeding facility.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so hey, if you are watching on any platform, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, I think that's where we're at right now. Let's see, or X. If you have a question that you want to have answered on the show today, just go to nickniman.com/ask, get it in the form. We've got some questions in there, but your question will definitely get answered if you can get it into the form, because we don't have a lot right now. So because of that, if you do have a question, make sure that you do get it in the form, and we will get you covered. The very first question is from Trying to Learn Bikes. Always in there, I think, swinging for that first one, usually. Says, if I create videos that are not related in any way to my channel, but keep them unlisted and unmonetized, and make a playlist solely for those videos to live in, does this strategy have any negative impact or confuse the algorithm promoting my normal, typical channel-focused content? Thanks in advance for your always spot-on advice. I have no idea what happens in terms of, if you're not making anything public, because everything that really matters on YouTube happens when it's public. So because of that, it doesn't really make sense to create a playlist on your main channel where you're doing that type of thing. Instead, just make a new channel. Like if you're not going to make it public anyway, there's no reason to keep it on your main channel. Just put it over on another channel and just keep it unlisted there and send people over that way. So that way, just when you're looking at content, when you're, just looking at everything, you don't even have to include that in what it is that you're doing, because it'll just add noise to what it is that's already, on your channel when you're in there looking for content and things like that. So I recommend you just put it on a completely different channel, especially if it's not, related to, the content that you are, currently publishing, just in case you accidentally hit a, public button or, something like that, just to be on the safe side, to make sure you keep everything clean and separated.
So before you move on to the next question, we have a milestone.
Hey, Walter's World, what's going on, dude?
Hey, Mark, how you doing? We need to celebrate. Griffin Painting and Home Improvement, LLC, says my channel hit 32,000 this week.
Nice. High five and fist bump to you.
Congratulations.
High five and fist bump. Yeah, nice work on that. Listen, absolutely love it.
If you hit a milestone this week, type it in the chat. Yep. But you're still not going to outdo singing Baby Shark.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yep. And Walter's World says that you achieved peak dad jokeness.
There you go.
D. Yep. There you go.
That's right.
So next up on our list here, we've got KD Gone Crazy. KD Gone Crazy uploads one time per week or more. The type of channel is just a gaming channel where I can have fun. And the question is, so how important is personality when it comes to videos? I would usually see channels with not the best overall video quality, editing, thumbnail, etc., yet they're still able to pull in many views because of their personality. How can I do the same with my channel without it seeming fake or looking like I'm forcing it? So in situations like that, sometimes it is the personality. Like if you have a bright personality, then that can get you pretty far. But that doesn't help you be able to come up with good video ideas. That doesn't help you come up with effective thumbnails that help people identify your content's about something they care about. It doesn't help you come up with good titles, and it doesn't help you make. I mean, it can help you make good video content, but it doesn't necessarily ensure that you're making good video content, because the personality gets you there in how you're communicating, but it might not get you there in terms of how you're doing things in the video content. So because of that, sometimes, it can be the personality that kind of pulls them through, but they still got to know how to do the things for things to work out. Now, they might know those things intuitively and then be able to do them that way. But one thing that I've learned in many cases is that what you're seeing when you are looking at stuff online isn't always the first place somebody started, right? So it is definitely possible that in some of those cases, like if they start out and they start doing good right out of the gate, in some cases they have some type of life experience that they came into it with, and they could just be leveraging that, and they really do understand how to do the stuff. It's just they have the personality to also, help take it further. But in terms of, can you do the same with your channel? So another thing that's really important when it comes to YouTube is making sure that when you're publishing videos, yes, personality can be helpful, but there's also some really dry personalities that do great on YouTube, and some, and then everything in between as well. When it comes to YouTube, it's about finding the people that you resonate with based on who it is that you are. Like, sure, you can amplify things up, a little bit in terms of your personality. You can, some people, can act in certain ways and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is you're trying to connect with other people who, just kind of, resonate with, the things that you're doing. And that may be a personality that isn't super bright, so to speak. It might be a personality that's dry or anywhere in between. So because of that, I wouldn't necessarily look at that as a limitation. What I would do instead is start thinking, okay, how can I make the videos that I'm wanting to make, but make them easily identifiable for the people that I'm trying to reach, come up with topics that they care about, write good milestone, or not milestones. I just read Doug's comment. Write good titles for them, so that good compelling titles, so they'll click on this. And then how can I make great, content for them? And then if you focus on the viewer, then in that particular case, you can be yourself. And when you are yourself, but you're focused on providing value to the viewer, that can get you a really long way when it comes to YouTube, where you don't have to have one of those, kind of over the top personalities that you see typically, do well on YouTube.
There's some great
Any additional thoughts on that, Dee, when it comes to the personality thing?
I was showing milestones. I was putting milestones on the screen while you were doing that. What was the actual question?
Basically, they feel that their personality doesn't compare to other personalities on YouTube. So they were asking like what they could do in order to, here, let me scroll down and tell you exactly.
Yeah.
How can I do the same without my channel? With my channel, without it seeming fake or looking like I'm forcing it. So basically, they see other content creators that have these personalities, and they're like, okay, how can I have a personality like that instead of kind of embracing who they are?
Yeah, you stop me if this is what you said. The whole thing that's going to make you stand out is your personality. So if you're trying to measure yourself against someone else's personality, like I want to be more like that, you're not, actually copying them per se in terms of your entire channel, but people might say, "Oh, you remind me of this creator." You don't want to be reminded of this creator. You want to be your creator. You want to be you. You want other people to be told that they remind them of you. So I would say, work on your personality, and I think it could be awkward. And we talked about this before. There's a buffer, right? There's a buffer between, like when I make content or when I go live, there's a line of information where I won't give information beyond that, or I won't go further than this area because I do want to keep it friendly, family friendly. Yeah, to a point. Sure. I do want to keep it brand friendly. I don't want brands to be like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that guy. Yeah. That's not what we represent. That's not right. I want to be attractive to all the brands, and I want to be able to make sure that you can sit here with your children and watch these streams or watch my live stream or watch my videos, and 99.9% of that experience, you don't have to cover their ears. Yep. Right.
And for the stuff that might kind of cross those lines, it's usually subtle to where, it's done in a way to where they probably won't pick up on it.
Right. We're not doing like filth or any of that stuff in here. So I would say just work on your own personality. Think about, how are you around your friends? How are you around your friends? How are you around people that you know? You might think your personality is boring, but your personality is what makes you you. Right. Maybe you just have a dry sense of humor. Maybe, and I'm not saying you're boring, but maybe the fact that you are boring is what makes you stand out. Right. Like there's some like comedians that are just like deadpan comedians.
Well, what's the guy that does the camera stuff? So there's But
while you're thinking of that, to my point is figure out what your personality is, be as uniquely you as you can be. But also I do recommend finding that line to where you don't share too much. You don't say too much to where you might expose privacy issues, or you become, you don't want to risk turning off brand. I mean, you might. Maybe it's like, hey, I just want to put it all out there and let the chips fall where they may. Maybe that's how you want to do it. Maybe that is your personality. But you might be less attractive to people if that's the road you choose. But do what you want.
Yeah, I can't find his channel right now. I can't remember the name just off the top of my head.
He just had a super dry.
Yeah, awesome. Like he's super funny, but his his whole delivery is just
sarcasm.
Yeah, just
deadpan.
Through the roof sarcasm.
Yeah.
He's great, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah,
so many good creators. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah,
but
hilarious.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so definitely just try to lean into yourself and who you are, and like give that to the world. Because, for, all of the different personalities out there, like, you might find that as long as you learn how to make good content that adds value to people, that the way that you do it might be something that, that there's a hole in the market right now for that. And when you do it, people are like, oh my God, this is so refreshing. I've been waiting for somebody like this to come along. So like embrace who you are.
Yeah. Your personality is what makes people want to watch your videos instead of watching someone else's video. Yeah. So if you're trying to say, I want to be like this person, or I want to now you might say, I want to be more outgoing. You can do that through practice. Yeah. You can watch videos and just kind of trial and error. Whoa. Some thunder. Yeah. Learn how to be more outgoing. If you want to learn how to speak more, if you want to be more articulate when you're speaking, That's something you're going to have to work on. So you decide how you want to be, but I would recommend leaning into your own personality. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. They built their brands and their personality. That's their thing.
Yep.
You know, like I can watch somebody like, I don't know, Casey Neistat. He's got his own thing.
Yeah.
I would never try to copy him in any way, shape, or form. He's carved out his little space. And anyone who tries to sound like him or look like him or make stuff like him.
Oh, that dude's just trying to be Casey Neistat.
Yes.
Yep.
You don't know of that person as who they are. You just know them as, oh, that guy's trying to be Casey Neistat. Right. That guy's trying to be Mr. Beast. This guy's trying to be Mark Rober or whoever it is. Yeah. You know, be you.
Yep.
Be you. That's the best advice I can give you. And don't listen. Be yourself and let the chips fall where they may. Yep. Your audience will find you.
Yeah.
Some people are going to love you. Some people are going to hate you. It doesn't matter. Like they'll decide where you're going to fall in this whole thing. But just be you.
Yeah. So iPhone Chris says, do you have backup power? So no, we don't. Here.
No, but we have phones.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have phones. So as a worst case scenario, we go through there unless the phone towers are cooked as well.
That was
but yeah,
loud.
we don't
That
have.
was like,
it was like down the street loud.
Like right outside the window loud. Like they were just, it was a pocket of thunder right there, sent by the baby sharks.
Oh.
Let's get them. Let's interrupt their stream.
So World of KRS is up next. They upload when they have time. They do art challenges and rants content, and the goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what I like. And the question is, how can I improve my audience engagement? I've tried a few options, mainly just making community posts along what videos that they would like to see, or making quiz community posts, but I can never really get that massive engagement. What do you suggest that I should do so that way that I can get my audience more involved? So when it comes to that, consistently showing up can be extremely powerful in terms of you're just like, you're always there when you're supposed to be in terms of when you're publishing content, things like that. Doing things on just a general schedule can be helpful. So for example, we do this every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, which so those types of things can be helpful when it comes to the posts that you're making. If you have more activity happening on your channel in general, in terms of you're publishing shorts, you're publishing long form, you're live streaming, all of that, and you're doing it on a regular basis, then when you make community posts, there's a lot more people that have recently interacted with your channel that are going to see that. And in addition to that, some new people will see it as well. So because of that, being active is one way. And another way is also just making sure that you are adding value to the people that are, interacting with the content, which I'm sure you're, already doing or trying to do now. And then from there, scaling things up. So I'm going to look at your channel here just really quick.
Can you give me a peek?
I just want to get a gauge of kind of what's going on here.
Okay.
In terms of, like if they are, what kind of views they're getting and stuff like that. Yeah, so right now, the thing that I would focus on more than like the general community engagement, the thing I would work on right now is consistency, right? Because, right now I'm looking at your channel and you haven't published any long form videos in a month. I'm not sure what you're doing on shorts. Let me see if you have any comments on this. Yeah, so I'm not sure when you publish this particular one. Let me go here to the description. Yeah, so you haven't published a short since January, and you haven't published a long form video in a month, and you're not live streaming. So because of that, like you can't expect much, right? Like when it comes to YouTube, like it really is. Like you get out of it what you put into it. Yeah. So, when you're not consistent, and, I've seen this because, my consistency, because I've been focused on the app stuff lately. So because of that, my long form content just hasn't been there, as consistently. This is consistent, the live stream, but in terms of the long form content. And, you can see that reflected in terms of the overall performance of the channel because I'm not putting out that, new content that keeps people coming back in and things like that. So because of that, you do want to make sure that you are, just consistently putting out content on a regular basis, because if you're not doing the thing, you can't expect people to participate in something that isn't happening, right? If you're just making community posts, like you can do that, but it's not enough. Like you need to also be putting out, video content so that people can have something to, to enjoy from you, so that they can want to participate in the posts that you create and things like that. So you want to make sure that that you show up on a regular basis. So the thing in your case specifically, this is why I wanted to look at the channels to kind of see where you're at and see what the problem might be at a glance, right? And just the first thing that I saw is that you just haven't published in a month, and in addition to that,
hey, his name is Camera Conspiracies.
That's it. Yep. Good investigative work there, D.
Yep.
But also in addition to that, like you published this one a month ago, this other one a month ago, and then it was like 3 months before that. And you published 2 videos and then 5 months before that. So you're having these huge gaps in between when you're publishing videos to YouTube. And unfortunately, in the current scope of, or the current environment that we're living in when it comes to YouTube, that's just not effective, especially for the type of content that you're currently doing. If you were doing, super high response content in terms of content to where you publish a video and you just have tons of people that are interacting with it over the course of the month, it's great for general audiences. So once you get past the engaged viewers and the casual viewers and all that, once you get into like the really general people, like they can still love it. And because of that, your videos are still just cranking views and all that, then you can get away with doing less. But the way that things are currently are on the channel, like this, the highest viewed video that you've had, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll just say in the last 5 videos is 7 months ago with 72 views and 9 months ago with 1.2 thousand views. Everything else has been below that. So it's just not enough right now for that activity to take place. And one thing that you have to think about, and these types of things as a creator, like when you're like, hey, I'm just putting content out when I can and those types of things. One of the things that's unfortunate about this type of situation is that there are so many people that are making content like you're making that if you're not showing up, those people are going to take the people that, or they're going to get the attention from the people that you are trying to reach, right? And all of that attention is going to start going away from you because you're not, you're not showing up, you're not offering anything, right? So because of that, I recommend that you figure out how to work the process of coming up with video ideas, creating those videos, and publishing content to your YouTube channel, and work on consistency. That's what's more important right now, so that you can continually do the thing, so that you can learn how to, serve the people that are interacting with your content. Because you had a video that got 1.2 thousand views on it, so that's that shows that like you can do that. But now you have to get to work on trying to figure out how to replicate it and how to get that type of response on a regular basis. So hang in there, you got this. It's tough, but work on that consistency stuff first, and then worry about engagement later.
Yep, well said.
TubeSpanner in the house says that banner in front of your desk looks amazing and reminds me of the Incredible Hulk. Hulk is also a massive banner. Love it. He actually is a massive banner. Oh, it's good. Hey, let's see here. So Pero Z Red. So any questions that you have, I've got a link down in the video description, or you can just go to nickniman.com/ask. It'll forward you right to this form. I answer the questions in the order that they come in. So if you are wanting feedback on your thumbnails, just drop it into the chat here. Or drop it in, not the chat, I'm sorry. Drop it into the form. K-Skis is the next channel, uploads when they have time. They're doing it to have fun. And the question is, what do you suggest on editing a gaming video that involves a lot of reading? For context, I already have the video recorded, but it's a visual novel type game.
Holy, that
God,
just...
yeah, scared me too. Says I already have the video recorded, but it's a visual type game that has a lot of reading, and I'm not sure on how to edit it that way so my audience won't get bored. What do you suggest that I do?
What do you mean a lot of reading?
Yes, I'm not sure. So it's a gaming video that involves a lot of reading. So I'm guessing that as you are doing the game, maybe you have to read a lot. Couple things. One, that may or may not be, the best fit for content if it is going to be boring. But if it is a game that people are into, then in that case, it might not be a big deal. But, just try to keep it, snappy if you can. Look at how they've responded to your other videos and see if you can find anything there to like, hey, when we have these parts where like nothing's really happening, like how do people react to that? And if you find that people aren't sticking around for those parts of the video, then in that case, try to make it as snappy as you possibly can. Maybe summarize it instead of reading everything. But if the reading part is a requirement for the game, and that's something that the people that are watching that content would need in order to get the context they need for the game and stuff, then you're going to kind of have to do it. So because of that, I would just try to make it as interesting as you can. Make sure that you're, just using your voice right in terms of, fluctuations in tone and that kind of stuff, just to try to make it, a little bit more interesting. And publish one, see how people respond to it, and then try to take notes on that particular video to see if you need to make changes for the next one, right? Because you might find that they're like, hey, no problem, I'll sit here and read along with you. Or you might find that they're like, nope, out of here. I didn't come on YouTube to, to read. So yeah, definitely something to experiment with there. Premier Travel, you too.
Shark Scrapper says that thunder is loud.
Yeah.
It's been nice knowing you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was super loud. Like that last one, like kind of felt like it shook things a little bit.
Yeah, it scared me.
Yep. Yep, $5 to iFund Nick and $2 to iFund D. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yep. So next up on our list here, we've got Wang with Wiggy is the name of the channel. They upload every other day, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do gaming tutorials and review content. The goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is, I've recently switched up my channel's direction from tutorials and reviews to instructional gameplay, same niche. I and many others have spoken with have been of the mindset that you should either be doing long form or short form channel, and that combining the two is more damaging than good. Have I been misled here? And should I be looking at doing shorts to try and attract viewers to my long form content? Okay, so when it comes to YouTube Shorts, it's important to look at YouTube Shorts from a couple of different views here. So one is that you can use YouTube Shorts in order to bring attention to your long form content. And when you're doing that, it's likely that you're not going to just put everything you can into making those shorts, that you are going to publish that with only the purpose of trying to get people to the long form, which means that the likelihood is going to probably be high, unless you come up with a clever way to do it. The likelihood is probably going to be high that is not going to be the best content suited for shorts. So because of that, when you publish those, it's likely that those might not do as well, because it's not designed, the content itself isn't designed to serve people that are interested in watching YouTube Shorts. It's designed to use shorts as advertising to get people to the long form content. And when people are in YouTube Shorts, some people will cross over, but people go to the shorts option for a reason. And that reason is because they want to watch shorts content in that moment, not long form content. So when you are trying to get people over, there's a handful of things that you're combating. So the thing that you're combating is, one, when it comes to vertical content, it's like a shotgun approach, right? In terms of who it gets in front of. So because of that, one, you have to find the people, or the system has to find the people that are likely to be interested in the content in the first place. And then out of those people, you're going to have the percentage of, you're going to have to take away the percentage of people that don't respond well to that content and just swipe past. And then from there, for the people that stick around and watch, then you're going to have to scrape away the people that don't care about the long form content, and they're just there in the short shelf, which is going to leave you with a very small amount of people. So because of that, in order for that to work effectively, you have to be getting views at scale. And by that, I mean like lots of views in YouTube Shorts to make that strategy effective. Whereas you can say, okay, so I have my long form content that I publish for the people that are wanting to watch long form content, but there's also people that open up their phones and they don't sit there and look at the long form content, at least in that moment. So what they do is they go and they look in the YouTube short shelf. So people who are interested in my type of content that I might be able to add value to in some way, they might be in that short shelf. So what can I make for them that might add value to them in the short shelf, to where they're going to be like, hey, this is great. I hope I see more of these. And then they'll subscribe or, engage with that particular short. And then what happens is, out of those people, then you're going to end up finding people keep seeing you in YouTube Shorts and they're like, wow, this is pretty good. I wonder what else they've got. And then for the people, when they're in that moment, they might go and explore your main channel, and then they might end up finding your long form content that way. In addition to that, YouTube also has the bridge in place to where if somebody's highly engaged in your shorts, it's also likely that they're going to recommend your long form content to them as well. So then it also gives you the option to where if that person is logging onto YouTube's homepage and they are watching long form content, that YouTube might show your long form content to them there without you having to try to get them there through the YouTube Shorts. So because of that, just remember, since YouTube Shorts is that kind of shotgun approach, just like you have to really get scale in order for that transfer to happen as effectively as possible. So because of that, focus on adding value to people in YouTube Shorts. And then the people that are really into that, some of those people end up finding you, or not finding you, but exploring more of what it is that you do. And that will lead them to your long form content in terms of videos, any live streams that you do, and things like that.
I generally don't transfer over.
Yeah, I don't either.
I do for certain things, like if it's comedian.
Yeah.
A comedian, I'm like, wow, they're
this
really...
It's hilarious. What else has he got?
Yeah, this person's hilarious.
That's
what
what
else
I mean in
have?
terms of percentages, right?
Right.
Like the qualifiers, in order to make that, relevant to somebody to where they're going to be so engaged that they're going to go and check you out. Like you have to get in front of so many people for that to be effective.
The numbers game.
Yeah.
And the right type of content.
Right. And for comedians, right? Like with that stuff gets out a little bit more into general audiences because everybody can appreciate a laugh, right? Yeah. So because of that, you also have, that type of scale. That's why you see some of those comedians getting like millions of views on their shorts and stuff because they're just so good, right?
Yeah.
Ash, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. Nice to see you in here, man. Let's see here. And yeah, like I just started publishing shorts to my channel. So I published the one that was like a microphone. I mean, I had shorts on there previously, but I'm starting to add them, more because I'm ramping up on other platforms right now. And then I'm going to be focusing on YouTube once I fully get all of that, system together. So as a part of that, I'm dripping some shorts in, right now as well. And I put out one that is a microphone video. Didn't do that great. It was a longer short, but I sold something. Right. So I've made affiliate sales on that. And then the one that I just put out, it's doing a little bit better. Started out better, but it's kind of, dying down now. But, I'm going to be putting out more shorts there.
Did you also have that as a long form video and you just made it?
Nope.
Short only.
Yeah, just made the two shorts that I have on this channel that I put up.
Right.
Those are just unique shorts made for those are just made for shorts.
Gotcha.
Short stuff. So when it comes to the other platforms and even, shorts on YouTube with my own content, like, one of the things that I'm experimenting with is, I'm putting out some really high produced stuff right now on the other platforms. And my next cycle is going to be things that aren't as highly produced. So I can start to figure out, and I'm just sharing this with you just so you can, just kind of think about, what that experimentation might look like. So basically I'm doing this high produced stuff right now because that's what I like. So I'm just putting that out there for that reason. And then after that, then I'm going to do some stuff that's a little bit less produced to where, it doesn't have the same look as my video content. It looks a little bit more casual, so that I can, figure out on those platforms and, here from the short shelf, what my content in terms of what people respond to best. So it's going to be fun. It is already fun on the, on the other stuff. Hey, glad you're liking those shorts, Jerry. Appreciate it, man.
I paid Jerry to say that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you always do that.
I do that.
Yeah. So
if you guys want to make money, replying kindly to Nick, just go ahead and
send you a DM.
DM, let me know what your PayPal is.
Yeah, you come in here, say nice things to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, make me feel okay.
Build up his ego a little bit.
It's good.
Let him feel like he's making a difference out there.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's good. So next up, we got the Blind Bard. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing great. Been on YouTube for less than a year. The question is, what is a good length of a live stream where you are just starting out? Although I participated in live streams, this will be my first time going solo. Any best practices that I should know? Best practices for live streams. Take it away.
Best practices for live streams since you are going solo for the first time. Because you are going solo for the first time, I'm going to assume you've gone live before with other people. Perhaps. Did I understand that correctly?
I think so.
Either way, doesn't matter. I would recommend getting your note taker of choice. That could be a device, phone, tablet, or the way I do it, I get a piece of paper and I get a Sharpie. And the way I used to do it.
They're blind, by the way. Keep going.
I got nothing.
No, okay. So
here. No, okay. No, here's what I do.
Okay.
However you take notes.
Yeah.
However you take notes. I'm sorry, I don't know how you take notes, but however you take notes, I would get some bullet points together so that I don't know how you're going to access those, but so while you're live stream.
Yeah, they might have somebody with them.
Right, you have somebody with you, so you have some reference points during the stream. So what I do is I have a piece of paper and I would just write down, when I was starting out, here's 5 or 6 things that I want to talk about. And this is a bullet point, just a simple little reminder to me. It's not a detail. It's just a reminder to say, hey, don't forget to talk about these things. So if my brain starts to lose focus, you have a brain fart, as we often have when we least expect it, or your nerves get the best of you, you have something to reference. However you have to do that, that's what I recommend doing. And your live stream, only make it as long as you need to be. Don't try to go for a marathon. Don't try to go, I got to go for an hour. Make your live stream as long as it needs to be. There's no limit to it. Yeah. It can be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 6 hours, however long it needs to be, however much energy you want to put into it.
Yeah.
If your audience is there and your audience is responding and they're engaging, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going and good luck.
So really quick, I'm going to answer a question out of the chat here real quick from Wallace Bankley. They say, Can you promote a channel without being paid? So when it comes to YouTube and promoting your YouTube channel, all you have to do is learn how to make content that people respond to at a competitive rate for the platform. So when it comes to YouTube, the whole thing is a big contest. And when you are publishing videos to YouTube, you just have to make videos for the group of people that YouTube is showing your content to. You have to make videos that those people respond to at a rate that's competitive to the other videos that YouTube is showing to those people. And then once you do that, then you don't have to worry about promoting your videos anywhere. You don't have to worry about, sharing anything or anything like that, because YouTube's system is good enough to do all of that work for you. What you do have to do is, instead of, trying to figure out how to promote the content, spend that time, instead of thinking, okay, how do I promote my videos? Instead of thinking that way, think, okay, how can I make videos so good that people are topically, that they have to watch them, and how can I make them so good that when people come into them, that by the time they're finished with it, they've liked that video, they've subscribed to your channel, they're probably down there leaving comments, like that kind of stuff. You got to learn how to do that. Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately at the same time, because it is so competitive, you have to, learn how to do all of that stuff and get your content to that particular level. That's why YouTube gives us our stats inside of our YouTube Creator Studio, so that we can learn how people respond well to our video, or how people are responding to our videos, so we can make changes, and so we can lean into the things that work and lean out of the things that are not working. That's why we have our audience retention reports, so we can see and identify problems. So let's say, for example, let's say you publish a video and you're like, hey, my click-through rate's high, but this video isn't, getting much views. Like, what's going on? One, you can look to see how many impressions you've had. So it's typical to have higher everything when you haven't had a lot of impressions, and impressions when they show it to somebody on the platform. But if you're like, hey, my click-through rate seems okay, but my video is still not doing well, then you can go into your audience retention reports and you can see how people are responding there. And it could be that they're just leaving your videos quickly. There's also a drop down in there called compared to other videos, and that can tell you a lot too, because you can also see there how your videos are comparing against other videos of similar length on the platform, which tells you, like, hey, am I being competitive or not? Right? And if you find that you're not being competitive, then all it does is it just lets you be able to identify, like, hey, here's some stuff that I got to work on. So that's what all of those stats are for. It's so that you can better understand who it is that you're making content for, and so you can understand how they're responding and what devices they're responding on and all these things, so you can accommodate that experience for people, so that you can, ultimately learn how to make, content that people enjoy. Or enjoy more, right? Because I'm not saying that what you're making, that people don't enjoy it. What I'm saying is that once you hit a certain threshold in terms of how competitive your content is being, based on how people are enjoying it, that's when YouTube will take over and start showing your videos to more people.
What advice do you have for someone going live for the first time?
My advice for somebody going live the first time
also for somebody who's visually impaired.
Yeah, so
like, I don't know what devices you would have for note taking, but I'm sure they exist.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you do have any audible note-taking stuff, I would just put like a little like small headphone thing in your ear, maybe like a like a phone headphone type of thing in your ear. So if you do have any audible things that you need, that you'll hear those in your ear without the chat hearing them. It'll make it feel more smooth.
Yeah.
In addition to that,
that's good. That's a good one.
In addition to that, make sure that you do have a be right back screen ready, because things happen, like fortunately when you're hearing this live stream, if, myself or Dee has to go to the bathroom or something like that, if we need to step away for any reason.
Change the screens like this.
Yeah, then in that case, you can just trigger that screen, and then when you turn that screen on, then it just lets your viewers know that that you're going to be back. So you can do that inside of most editing software, but you can also do that now directly inside of YouTube as also, to where you can either upload a video or you can just upload an image, and then you can just hit a button to take a break. So those types of things are available. In addition to that, if you do have any type of notes, and you might have to do this audibly also, so I'm not exactly sure how you're going to, control this aspect of it. But also, you might want to have some type of timeline that's playing, to where you also have that going through your audio feed, to where it might tell you, like, okay, now we're at this part in the stream, so start talking about these things, or, something like that, just to kind of help keep you on track. So the way that we do that is we'll have, notes in front of us, and then, those notes will kind of help keep us on track. If we're doing like a more focused stream, this is freestyle because it's all Q&A, but if it's a more focused stream where it's like a training or something like that, you have notes, and then within those notes, just kind of lets you know, this is where I'm at, this is, you know, where I'm going next, and it just helps you be able to make things a little bit more smooth. Also, if there is going to be a lot of like off-screen things that you're going to be doing to where it might be distracting to the viewers, having something that you can kind of fill the screen with, so you can be doing all of those things kind of behind the scenes while they can see something happening on the screen instead. That might also be helpful. Any of those types of things can be helpful. And like Dee mentioned, don't think that you have to stream for a certain amount of time. Stream for as long as you want to, or as long as is required for the content that you are putting out.
Yeah, and I'm also going to assume here that if you are visually impaired and your audience knows this, they're going to be like, they're not going to be looking at you like, they're taking their, you know, it's taking too long to respond to something. Like they know when they come into your stream, if they're familiar with you, how things are. So don't put any extra pressure on yourself, and don't look at live streaming as something that's big and scary, because once you do it the first time, you're going to go, it's the same thing happened to me. We would stream together. And I just kept putting off doing it on my own channel. I thought my channel would have to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And the very first time I streamed by myself, as soon as I was finished, as soon as I turned it off, my first thought was, why didn't I start doing that a long time ago? Why did I not start doing that as soon as I started my channel? That was a huge mistake. So yeah, if you're not live streaming, this applies to everybody. If you're not live streaming, it doesn't matter what size your channel is, start live streaming. Even if 2 people show up, that's still amazing. Hang out with those 2 people. For
make it great for those 2 people.
Make it great, deliver for those 2 people, or that one person who shows up for whatever, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Hang out with them.
Dee used to be a musician. I mean, he still is, but he used to be like an active, like, you know, playing in places and stuff. And I know that one of the things that you mentioned to me a long time ago is that like you guys would kind of give it your all with everything, because you just never know who's there. Like that one person that's sitting in like a dark corner that's not dancing or whatever. Like that one person sitting in the corner could be that person that, you know, can make a difference. So
you have to play. For those of you who are gigging musicians, you know, you have to play the same. It doesn't matter if it's a packed house or an empty house. You have to play the same. Or if it's even half packed, or if it's just like there's a few people there. You don't know if another club owner, another venue owner is there scouting talent, or somebody's there scouting talent on behalf of another venue that's going to offer you another gig. Like, you never know.
Plus, you're not going to turn somebody that's not a fan into a fan if you're not, you know, if you're not rocking them out.
You got to bring it. Listen, you have to bring it. It doesn't matter if there's 2 people out there, you know, dancing their butt off, or if there's 2,000 people out there screaming. Like, you have to bring it the same.
You get to 2,000 people screaming by giving it your all for those 2 people that aren't.
Absolutely.
Travel Detours, what's up, Jeff? Hope you're doing awesome, man. Says, I'm that one creepy person in the corner. I knew it was you. I knew it.
I believe that.
Yeah.
When someone tells you who they are, believe them.
So let's see here. Speakers Creator Hub says channels that have an attractive female to star grow 45% faster. This is a database fact. I'm not sure about that.
Hold on one second.
But people that make good content will grow faster than people that don't, regardless of any of that stuff. So just being attractive doesn't guarantee anything.
Charlie?
If it was, I'd be the biggest content creator on YouTube, I think. Yeah, because I'm handsome AF. I don't know. I don't know.
Capital AF.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah.
Impact font.
Right.
Drop shadow.
Yep. Bold. Even like changing colors and blinking.
Yeah. All of it. Yeah. The whole thing there. Charlie says, I'm kind of fearful for live streaming. Listen, Charlie, I'm going to start up live streaming again on my channel, where I start bringing on new people. I used to do this.
When you doing that? When you starting? See me putting them on the spot? Like, okay, when you doing
like within the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Like 1 week or 2 weeks, you think?
I'm figuring out the live streaming setup.
Okay.
Because I have a totally different.
Okay. How long do you think it'll take?
When Charlie is ready to join me.
Okay, Charlie, you ready to come on right now?
So
go live with Dee?
Here's what we're going to do, Charlie. When you see me, and I know you're a subscriber to the channel and a supporter, so I always appreciate you for that. But when you see me having the live streams where I welcome first-timers and beginners on, you come on and you stream with me.
Yep.
And we're going to work through it all. But we'll get you live. We'll get you over this hump to get you over the fear of live streaming.
So do you think that'll be like next week or the following week?
I'm going to have to get with Charlie on that.
Okay.
I'm going to coordinate it with Charlie.
Okay, that's good. That's a great way out. I love that.
See what Charlie's schedule is.
See how he's blaming you, Charlie? This is great. So
no,
yeah,
it's just
so it's like,
people.
oh, I'm not covering that one. We'll hand it over to Charlie.
2 people are going to have to coordinate.
Okay.
And find a schedule.
So how does Charlie contact you to work that out?
Charlie knows how to contact me.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Charlie has purchased my merch. He's purchased my shirts.
Okay.
Charlie knows.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure we can get this done. Okay. All right.
We're gonna get it done.
Okay. Love it. So next
Don't let me
up,
down, Charlie.
We got Charlie Grace Adventures. They do bi-weekly content. They do RV travel content. The goal of the channel is to quit your job and be a full-time creator. And the question is, I'm growing, but slowly I've not had a breakout video. What is the best advice to get out of my plateau of slow growth and start growing it exponentially?
I need to derail this one more time. Charlie Grace, who is not the same as Charlie Morris, comes in and says,
not to be confused with,
says, let's add another Charlie to the mix in this live stream.
All right.
Charlie Grace, you are also welcome.
Yep.
To come into the live streams when I do them on my channel. I'll link to my channel down in the description below. It would be spectacular if I could.
Sounds like a party. I mean, if we're
listen. Our old man used to say, our dad used to say, you haven't lived until you've live streamed with 2 Charlies at the same time.
Yep. Right.
A Charlie crunch, he called it.
I think his version of that would have meant something different, though. Well, there goes Dee. Oh. All right, so trying to stay on track here. The next question that we have is from Charlie Grace. Yeah, Dee's like, like in a ball over there. Okay, so Charlie Grace Adventures does bi-weekly content. It's a RV travel channel. The goal is to quit their job and to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, but it's true though, right? So, the question is, I'm growing but slowly. I've not had the breakout video. What's the best advice to get out of my plateau of slow growth and start growing exponentially? Okay, let's look at the channel here real quick. Oh, goodness. Woo. Hey, Renee, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing great. Okay. Yep, I will. Thank you. All right. So I'm trying to get my composure, back together here. I would have been fine with that if you wouldn't have cracked up. Yeah, I just kind of came unglued. That was contagious. Loved it. All right. So Charlie, let's look at your channel here real quick and just kind of see what's going on. Very first thing, when you do live streams, make sure that you're making custom thumbnails for those live streams, because even though it's a live stream, you might look at that as like it's not as, important. Wait, where did I see that? Yeah, you might look at it like it's not, as important, but it is if you're trying to use those to grow your channel, right? Because this whole conversation is about growth. So when it comes to your live streams, make sure that you make a unique thumbnail that's going to help the people that you're trying to reach identify the content's about something that they care about. I'm going to pull this up here really quick, and we're just kind of we're going to go through this here. Hold on, let me make sure that you gave me permission to do that. It's okay to look at the channel. Okay, so here we go. So let's see here. Share screen. Booyah. All right. So the very first thing here is that, let me move this over here. And by the way, you see that TubeSpanner thing on the top and on the front of the desk right now. This tool right here that I'm using is one of the TubeSpanner tools. This is the TubeSpanner browser extension. And one of the cool things with this browser extension is it has a little doodler in here that lets you write on the screen, which is pretty cool. One of my personally favorite tools of this. But I'm gonna give you a full tour of this here in just a little bit. But basically, when it comes to your live streams, you can see here how you're just kind of repeating these. So this is helpful from a branding perspective, like helping people that are already involved with what it is that you're doing be like, oh, hey, she's live again. Let me go join, right? But what you're missing here is you're missing the thing that's going to help somebody that's interested in RVing. It's in your title, so you're halfway there. But you're missing the thing that's going to help people that are interested in RVing at a glance identify that this has something to do with RVing when it comes to your live streams. So here you at least have like a road in here, so that's kind of cool. But the idea is I would try to work like an RV in here somewhere, and I would try to just make a unique thumbnail, but make sure that you are in the thumbnail for the people that are recognizing you and coming into the stream. Because I see you got like 12,000 subscribers, so people know who you are. So because of that, you do want to leverage that for your live streams specifically. But when you are putting these thumbnails together, these look great. Don't get me wrong. Like from like a design perspective, these look super cool. Like I love these from a design perspective, but I don't love them from a information that it tells me about what it is that you're offering here perspective, and from the perspective of if I was interested in RVs and this were to show up for me on my home feed when I'm sitting there on my phone or on my I log into YouTube on my computer, then what's going to happen is I'm going to scroll right past this because there's nothing there that tells me this has anything to do with an RV. Now, granted, some people are going to be like, oh, hey, this just kind of pulls my attention because it is an attention-grabbing thumbnail, but you want to make sure that you are using imagery that will help people identify that this whole entire conversation is about RVs. And then here, you're doing a similar thing to where you have like a Behind the Wheel Wednesday. So I used to do something similar here, where these live streams, I would package everything around Nimin Live. And when you do that sort of thing, you're only reaching the people that already know about the show. You're already reaching people that already know what Behind the Wheel Wednesday is. But if you want to use these to grow the channel, which it might not be, for your content strategy, this might all be about nurturing the people that are already involved. But if you want to use these to grow, then in that particular case, make sure that you are being very specific about this being for RV people by using RV language in the thumbnails, and making sure that you do have some RV RV imagery in the thumbnails, and then some RV language in the titles. You don't have to put Wednesday live stream on there because people know that this is a live stream based on how YouTube is presenting it. In addition to that, you don't even have to put Wednesday on there because, people will be seeing it on that particular day. And YouTube automatically does put the timestamps down here for you as well. So just for your live streams, we're going to get into the other stuff here in a second, but for your live streams alone, I would start working on, using more of that type of imagery that's going to help them identify it. But try to do something that does stand out like this, because the way that you're currently doing these, without question, it does stand out and grab attention. But I just think that you need more RV in here for the RV person to go like, oh, RVs. And then look at the title, and then come in and participate in your live stream if they want to. So try not to optimize around show names, which is what you're currently doing, and instead optimize around what the viewer might get out of the content, or what you're going to be sharing or talking about, that kind of stuff. So if you look at what we do here, instead of saying Nimin Live and having all the imagery around Nimin Live, I have a YouTube play button as part of the logo, or the YouTube logo as part of my thumbnail, so that people that are interested in YouTube, so they'll see that and be like, oh, I wonder what this is about. And then underneath that, I have creators only, because I don't want casual viewers that are interested in just YouTube at scale. I don't want them clicking on this live stream, because that's not who this live stream is for. I only want content creators in here, so that I can tell YouTube content creators are the people that are interested in this. So because of that, I have the YouTube logo, and then I have creators only, and then I have it optimized around a topic that is of high concern for the content creators that we try to help during this stream specifically, because people that are in the stream specifically are trying to figure out, like, how do I get more activity on what it is that I'm doing, because we're doing a Q&A here, and we're kind of helping people solve those problems. So because of that, the title on this particular one and all of them is something like, learn how to thrive on YouTube, even if your channel's small, or in a bunch of different variations, of that. And the whole reason for that is to help content creators be able to identify, oh, that's for me. So that they'll, come in, and if they have a question, then, then they can come in and get their question answered here. So that's the whole idea. And like I said, if you're doing this for nurture, which is what I use these live streams for, then in that particular case, the thing about the growth side of this isn't as important, but if you can still use it to get new people in there. That's also going to help you get more views on the replay as well. And when it comes to the replay, because I haven't seen you in the chat before, so I'm not sure if you've been in here before, but one concept that I also talk about from time to time for live streamers specifically is, if you're trying to grow the channel with your live streams, make live streams that are designed for the replay. Reason for that is because while you're live, you're going to have people come and hang out. It's going to be a great experience for them because you're live, they get to interact and all that stuff. However, once that live stream is done, after you've been on for 33 minutes and it's over, then in that case, it's just going to die, right? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you are putting your live stream together, that any of your like hangout stuff, things like that, that you do that up here, and then the show stuff, you do that here. And this is representative of a timeline, by the way. But basically you do that here. And then while you're doing all the hangout stuff, you have a little reset right here to where you're like, oh, hey, by the way, if you're just joining the stream, we're talking about RV, blah, 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 and you kind of use that to put your hook. And then after the live stream is complete, you're going to lose your live stream replay views when you're doing this, but it's fine because it makes it feel even more or less live, which is great for the replay. But basically, when you do that, you go into YouTube's editor after the stream is complete, and you cut it right here, and then you cut off all that front end stuff. So then when the replay viewer comes in, what they experience is, we're talking about RVs, blah, blah, and you know, whatever your hook is. And then that way they experience like a real hook, and then you get right into the content. So that's one thing. Next, let's go over to your videos here real quick. Okay. So here, let's get to know Charlie Grace. This type of stuff is fine, but I would definitely put this as your channel trailer, and I would unlist this. I mean, it's fine. You got 1.7 thousand views on it, so leave it. But typically, if this was your trailer, typically you should just upload that as your channel trailer. But it's been effective, though. You got 1.7 thousand views, so it's, you know, just leave it on there. It's already been on there 4 days, so just leave it as it is. But typically, for anybody in the chat, when you publish your trailers, just publish them unlisted, and then that way they don't, you know, go out to your subscribers and stuff like that. Here, so your thumbnails here, this is good. You at least have RVing here, which is good. And then you have it with dogs, you know, which is also good. So I think all of that is going to be okay for grabbing attention. Metal versus box fan, you've got the imagery in there. So I think your thumbnails on your video content are okay. I would definitely put a little bit more emphasis on the RV. And the reason for that is because you're probably going to have a lot of older people that might be interacting with this as well. And just to make it super easy for, you know, older people to also be able to see that and, you know, at a glance and understand everything that's happening like as quick as possible so that you can capture their attention, right? Most no tips traveling dogs in an RV, fantastic. This might also bring you some search traffic over time. Box van versus metal van, the ultimate van life showdown. I think that's fine. When it comes to these types of things, I think how you're writing this, like the ultimate van life showdown, I think that's fine with your titles. You could take it a little bit further in terms of like, you know, what you should know before you buy, and you know, those types of things to make it a little bit more kind of fear based. But that does limit the qualifier or the qualified viewer to being somebody who's interested in buying the RVs. So I think the approach that you're taking here is okay. Of the 22 things, all of that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So next step that I want you to do is inside of your YouTube analytics. I want you to go into your audience retention reports on one of these videos. Like this one doesn't have that many views on it, but I still want you to go in so you can just kind of look and see what's happening. So inside of your YouTube analytics, you can go in and you'll see your audience retention report. And that audience retention report is a second-by-second graph of how people are responding to your content. Look and see what it looks like. And look to see if people are leaving your video quickly here at the beginning, and look to see if you have any parts in your video where people are, you know, leaving, you know, a lot faster, and just kind of see what's happening in those particular areas and try to patch them up or try to experiment to see if you can find things that will, you know, get you past those particular parts. Also, look and just see how they are comparing to other videos of similar length. You can see everything that I just talked about inside of your audience retention reports if you are familiar with, you know, with those. Also, like this isn't a requirement, but it is something that, you know, that we do just to kind of give the system additional context. Is it's also just a general best practice to try to fill out your video descriptions. Like YouTube recommends at least a paragraph when it comes to your video descriptions. Sometimes we do that, sometimes we don't. But if you're in that mode, we're like, look, I'm trying to get the ball rolling here, trying to, you know, kind of, you know, get things moving a little bit more. Definitely make sure you're doing that just to give it a little bit extra context. And when it comes to these types of things, like the topics that you're talking about, I'm sure there's probably enough people that are looking for the must-know tips for traveling with dogs in an RV. But one thing that also might be really helpful for you is when you are coming up with video ideas to make, you're going to have the videos that you want to make, and you should make those too because you know that RVers need those videos. But when it comes to certain videos like this one, for example, also look around in like the RV space of other people that make content for RVs and see like, okay, for those channels, have they made these videos about dogs? And if so, have people responded well to those? And then if they have, that's kind of proof that people are interested in that topic. So then it kind of gives you the green light to, you know, to make sure that you're making that content. Other things that can be really helpful for this, and I think that in your case with that particular video on the dog one, this might be one that you might be able to get like search traffic for as long as it performs well there, to where this one might grow for you well over time, hopefully, right? As long as people respond well to it in YouTube search. But yeah, I would definitely do all of those things. And then let me check for just a couple of other kind of elephants in the room type of things here. Yeah, you're publishing on a regular basis. You know, you're not taking long breaks, anything like that. Must see Winnebago Echo Mods. Yeah, like some of your videos are getting like 2,000 views. Some of them are getting like 500. So other things to look at too, like here you have best portable fire pit. And I'm going to move on here in just a second for everybody that's watching. But basically, let me pull this back up. Like right here, you have like this Camping Hack, the collapsible slinky stove smokeless fire pit. So if you are reaching the people that are into like van life and stuff, like I would try to, and here you're like travel adventures, overlanding tips, and product reviews. As a part of your product reviews, I would try to, and you are doing it with the camping, but if the main thing that you're doing, which is what it looks like here, the primary thing that you're offering on your channel is to RVers, then in that case, I would try to make this stuff more relevant to RVers, right? So here you have like best portable fire pit for RV, you know, for RVs. And then here, instead of Camping Hack, the collapsible silky stove smoky fire pit, have it, you know, the collapsible silky fire pit you might want for your RV, right? And then that way you're kind of forcing the whole conversation, or keeping the conversation, I mean, around, you know, RVs that way. So then every video that you're making then will become, you know, relevant to people that are into RVs. Like what you're doing is okay in terms of having like, okay, well, people that RV are probably doing some camping too. I'm not sure, but if they are, then in that case, you're going to have some crossover there. But one of the things for the growth that you're looking for, because you're trying to speed things up, is that, you know, just laser targeted fit, that like everything that goes on the channel, at least for a period of time, is for that specific group of people, right? So in your case, that group of people could be, you know, RVers. And then how that works with your product reviews and things like that is you just always make sure that you are wrapping everything around RVing or van life. And then by doing that, it instantly makes like everything that you're publishing relevant to a very particular type of viewer. Same with this cassette toilet disguise for the win, new product Monday. This is another one to where at a glance, you might not know that this has anything to do with, you know, a toilet for an RV or for camping. So just adding a little bit of clarity there can also be helpful for that identification. But one of the important things, because I think like a lot of what you're doing is okay, but then there's those little nuanced things that I think that you need to work on. So because of that, work on some of those things, but also just make sure that you are going into your audience retention reports and seeing what's happening there, so that you can, you know, try to figure out, you know, how people are responding, because everything that you're doing from the outside might be okay, but once people get into the video, then that might be where, you know, things are kind of falling apart. But one thing that I do want to mention also is, well, no, because you have the Sprinter there, but that's like a van, and then you have the RV stuff. So right now I'm looking at one RV video, 2,000 views, another RV video, 1.5 thousand views. Let's see here, custom vans, 800. The bus build is 528. So yeah, it looks like the RV content, and again, this is just at a glance here while we're live and kind of on the spot, but it looks like the RV content seems to be the stuff that, you know, seems to be doing better at a glance. So one thing that you can also do to kind of help you navigate through this is inside, and everybody here has access to this, has this thing I'm getting ready to talk about, but inside of your YouTube channel, there's something called a grouping feature. So what you can do is you can go in and you can say, okay, I'm going to group together all of my recent content about RVs. I'm going to group together all of my recent content where I've kind of framed the thing around, you know, camping. Or you can do, this is RV tip content, this is product review content, this is van life content, this is camping content. And then you can use the grouping feature and you can say, okay, I want to compare my RV content to my van life content. And then you can start to see, like, what do people respond to better? And then you can compare the winner of that to the camping content and then see which one people respond to better. And you kind of rinse and repeat that. And by doing that, because I don't know exactly what you're trying to do with the channel outside of the growth side, but if the focus is on growth, then what you want to do is you want to look at those and say, okay, which one of these is driving the most engagement? Which one of these typically gets better retention? Which one of these do people typically click on more? Which ones typically just get more views overall? Which ones drive more revenue? And when you start doing that, then it really starts to speak to you about what it is that your viewers want from you, and what it is that that they respond to best. And you can also look at like the new and returning viewers in there and that type of stuff, so you can really start to understand what it is that people want from you. Because as content creators, we have this problem. We all do it. I do it too. But we have this problem where like sometimes we know what people want, but then we're like, you know what, I want to put this out too. And then we, and then we do that. Or this other type of content serves a goal, and that goal might not be perfectly in alignment with the people that we're trying to reach. So sometimes we have to modify those things too. Like your product reviews, for example, you're probably doing that for the monetization side, but it might be, just how you're framing them from the topic point of view might be just a little bit outside of the RV, interest. So because of that, wrapping those into, RVs or van life or whatever it is that your, main pillar of content is something that I would definitely experiment with.
That was a long one.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Well, she's got like 12,000 subscribers already, trying to like kind of, get things a little bit further.
Yep.
Yeah. For some of these, like I would love to get like, I would love to do a stream sometime. Probably wouldn't be best for this particular stream, but like do one at home where I get like stats access to some channels,
pull it all
and then
up.
Just go in and be like, okay, here's exactly what so I can just kind of show people
Here's
find
what's going on in your
stuff.
channel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Go in, kind of group it all up, categorize everything, start
a deep dive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stanley Orchard, what's up, dude? Hope you are doing great.
Hey, Stanley.
So let's see here. So next up. And hey, real quick, I do want to let you know, in case you have just joined the stream, in the past, I don't know, how long have we been streaming for?
We've been streaming for,
So
1 hour and 6 minutes.
1 hour and 6 minutes. So today's stream is brought to you by TubeSpanner. So if you have been participating in this live stream for any amount of time, in terms of you showed up multiple Saturdays, I'm sure you've seen TubeSpanner here in the stream. You've probably seen me share TubeSpanner content that I made a long time ago for the TubeSpanner channel in my community feed. You've probably heard me talk about, TubeSpanner, a lot, during these live streams and stuff. But TubeSpanner has just recently undergone a complete overhaul in terms of the back end of their system, in terms of the products that are offered, in terms of their browser extension. And because of that, they are running a kind of relaunch promotion right now. And with that promotion, you can actually try TubeSpanner yourself for 3 months for free. Now, I'm going to show you what TubeSpanner is. We're going to get through this, quick, because I know you're here to, get the question answered and all that. But I'm going to show it to you real quick just so you can see, because it's a tool that helps YouTubers, just to see if you can find value in the tool. And if you can, then you can use the promo code NIMN2025 if you go to TubeSpanner, and that will get you 3 months free if you sign up for the Max plan. TubeSpanner also has a plan that's lower than the Max plan, and there's a free plan as well that offers stuff. So there's a lot that is involved with with the tool in terms of what it is that it is offered. So I'm going to give you a really quick tour, and then you can make the call on if you think that it is going to be helpful for you or not. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up I'm just going to pull up YouTube in general.
Are we doing it now?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Let's do this. You going to show your screen right now?
Yep.
All right. Let's go. I don't see it. There it is.
And there it is. You got it?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to add it. There you go.
Okay. So first it's this panel right over here on the side. So there's the browser extension side. So if you're familiar with some of the other YouTube tools, you know how helpful it is to have this stuff embedded directly into YouTube. So TubeSpanner is the same. So with the browser extension, you basically can turn it on and off here. And then once you turn it on, then you can just hit the home page, and then it'll bring you directly into the extension that shows you like stats on your videos, has milestones, things like that. Just to, when you cross little milestones, be it like counts, comment counts, subscriber counts, how many uploads you've done, things like that. Then you get these little awards along the way that just kind of keep you motivated and stuff, which is pretty cool. And then there's also an upload assistant. Now, this also can show up inside your Creator Studio when you are uploading videos to YouTube, which is cool. And the really cool thing about this is what you can do is if I come down here to this build your description part down here at the very bottom, if I click on preset description, and this works in the same exact way when you're uploading videos, what you can do is you put your cursor into the area where the description is, and then I can hit, like, let's say for example for this live stream, I just hit live stream description. and then it adds everything in there for me so that I don't have to fill that out every single time I go live or every single time I upload a video. I have these different video descriptions that I can just quickly jump into here. Now, as a part of this, and this feature has been there for quite some time, but it's been, kind of re-optimized. But another thing is, if you look down here, we have the smart links. So one of the things that's really important when it comes to YouTube is making sure that you have the right disclosures, making sure if you're promoting things as an affiliate that you have the links readily available and stuff like that. So what you can do is within these smart links, you can add additional things. So let's say, for example, you're like, okay, I need to add I'm just going to pick something here. Okay, I want to add a link to Creator Mix, which is Dee's and I's music service. So if I want to add a link to that, I just click Creator Mix, and then you can see right here that it added Creator Mix at that particular my Creator Mix block is what that is, where it's added that whole section for Creator Mix, and it just inserts it right into the description for you. Another thing is how we're always talking about making sure that you're adding video links or links to other videos in your video descriptions as well. TubeSpanner makes that easy as well. And again, you can do all this in your upload process, or you can just build descriptions out using this way too more efficiently. Instead of having to go to your YouTube channel and look at like every video and try to find what it is you're looking for, you can just scroll right here and be like, okay, this is the one that I want to share. And then it also drops the link in. It also drops, oh, there it is.
That is
and then it also
super helpful.
Yeah, and then it also drops the link in right there for you too. So then that way it just makes everything kind of happen faster and makes it a lot more efficient. This is cool. So if you this next part here. So one thing that I'm really bad at, that I'm trying to get better at, and I was actually talking to Dee today. So one thing that I've done over the last couple of weeks is I've went from publishing this live stream and then sometimes like another video on the channel per week to now I'm doing like 29 pieces of content per week. So with TubeSpanner, in terms of content, things that I'm putting out, that's all video content. But in terms of the content that I'm putting out that's helpful to people, I'm trying to amplify that. So because of that, what I've done is I use TubeSpanner here. Pull it back up, Dee. I use TubeSpanner here to create social posts. So now, if you look at my planner here, you can see, it's going to be hard to see on the stream, but I have these black dots down here that have me covered all the way up until next Saturday, to where TubeSpanner is going to be auto-publishing tweets that I've put in there that are just quick YouTube tips. So make sure you're following me on Twitter or on X if you're not. But basically, with that, it allowed me to quickly, the whole thing took me maybe like 4 minutes.
Hold on, I need to interrupt you really quick here.
Go ahead.
On your screen there, I need to pull this back up. On your screen, right there, watch before relocating to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You have something you want to tell me?
Oh, no, I have no idea why that's being
Are you
recommended to me.
relocating
Except
to-
I'm relocating to Zimbabwe.
When are you relocating to Zimbabwe?
Yeah, I was actually just going to sneak away.
Were you going to?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get into like reggae
Were
and
you
then
gonna
moving
spring that on me?
to. Yeah, I was actually going to tell you at the end of the stream today, but I'll go ahead and say it now.
Yeah, because that is a wild YouTube recommendation.
It is, actually.
Like,
yeah, what's going on, YouTube?
watch before relocating to Zimbabwe.
Right.
What are you working on over there?
Right.
What have you done? What am I going to have to cover? Who am I going to have to get rid of to cover for you again?
Right. Again. I know,
Wow.
right? Yeah, you can tell I listen to a lot of music here.
Yeah.
Okay, so on this side, it allows you to be able to, quickly plan content. Now, you have this version here where you can do it directly inside of YouTube in the browser extension, but you can also log into the website and do this there. But basically, when it comes to this, another really cool thing is like, let's say you just publish a video and you don't want to go over to Twitter and be like, okay, now I got to go to, x.com or twitter.com and then go over there and hit my profile and then, set up my tweet. What you can do is you can just fill out your post here, right? And then you can hit add video link, and then you can pick your, most recent video, and then it drops that in there. And so you're like, hey, just posted a video, make sure you check it out. And then you can choose the social account, which in my case right here is Twitter. And then you can publish the post or you can schedule it out. So, so that is also really helpful if you have, a Twitter account. And there's also blue sky functionality that is going to be coming out within the next update or two. It just hasn't been added to the current version yet. Next, for those of you that use ChatGPT for stuff, this is like that, but a version for YouTube. So this is where you can talk to it about, your content strategy. You can ask it what you want to do next. You can tell it to write you a video description, help you come up with video ideas, any of that stuff. So for example, if I'm like, hey, give me 5 video ideas that would be helpful for YouTube content.
for those who are wanting to relocate to Zimbabwe.
Creators.
And sneak away from their family.
Love it. Then in this particular case, so TubeSpanner has a separate video idea thing where it helps you come up with video ideas. But this right here, basically what it's doing is it's actually bouncing it to ChatGPT and then coming back. And then right here, it gives me some video ideas about, you know, things that might be helpful for content creators here. But you can use it in that particular way. And then we have this, which is all new. So what this is the discovery optimizer. So what this does is it helps ensure that what it is that you're doing is kind of appropriate for the recommendation system. So here I have how to increase your YouTube subs. I'm just going to hit analyze. It gives you a little disclaimer here. And this disclaimer is about, you know, just letting you know. And the other tools that do similar things, they don't talk about this. Instead, they try to convince you that that the results that you are getting are definitive and that you should just lean on those results, which often causes people to say, hey, I'm trying that thing and it's not working. Here, it reminds you that, yeah, you know, these things are helpful, but you still got to make good content, right? So that reminder is like always there for you. But basically here, it gives you a score in terms of like readability, title length, title sentiment, the compelling element in your thumbnail, clarity and readability, that kind of stuff. So you can sit here and you can just make changes to it and workshop it until you get a high score. And then once you get that high score, then it should be appropriate for the recommendation system. Even breaks down, you know, the words that you're using and things like that, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so this right here is designed to just help you get better traction in the recommendation system. And then here, this one, same exact thing, is to target search. So for those of you that target search, this allows you to also explore different keywords that you might be, you know, going after and things like that. So you can also, you know, look into, you know, your ability to, you know, possibly show up for those particular keywords. And then the home run here is for outliers. So here, these are videos that have broken out over different time frames. Like this one's done 538% better on his channel compared to the channel average. So this one he published 3 months ago. So this lets me know, hey, this particular thing, 14 things you must do after uploading a YouTube video, this is something that people are into right now. So because of that, you know, this might be a good topic or a variation of this topic or something that contrasts this topic might be a good thing to make a video about because this is something that is broken out recently. And then, you know, it shows you that video or those videos around those particular topics that you put in there. So it can be really helpful for helping you, you know, grow your channel in that regard in terms of coming up with good video ideas that are proven to be of interest to the people that you are trying to reach. So in order to stop this tour, so I don't, you know, spend, you know, longer on this particular part, for the browser extension, that's the browser extension side. We'll go into the CMS side a little bit later in the stream.
Does mom know you're moving to Zimbabwe?
She doesn't. No, I haven't told her yet. Yeah. But basically, with that, again, if you want to try that out, you can try it for free. Just go to TubeSpanner.com. It will help me out if you do TubeSpanner.com/Nick, but it's okay. You don't have to. And yeah, try it for yourself and just see if you find it helpful. Because there's other things, too, that I didn't talk about. Like during this live stream, I even have a graphic in here for this that I used to use more. But basically, I had this little graphic here to remind people to open up their TubeSpanner. And the reason I have that in here is because there's also a tool in here that helps you take notes while you're watching this live stream or any video on YouTube. You can download those notes when you're finished, or you can come back to the video and those notes are still going to be in place, but it saves whatever notes that you keep with the timestamp as well. So it also helps you as an educational tool. So if you're watching a video on video editing, you can take notes along the way. If you're watching a video on presenting, you can take notes along the way. If you're watching this stream, you can take notes along the way. So it's really helpful in all that regard. But yeah, you can just go to TubeSpanner.com and check that out. Let's see here.
That was a good tutorial.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's come a long way. It looks great.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
So next up on the list here, we've got...
It's kind of a weird way to learn that you're leaving me.
I know, right?
But
I'm glad you just saw the Zimbabwe, right?
Yeah.
That was misdirection. Yeah. Yeah, the place I'm going, yeah, they don't have roads. So
roads, we don't need roads.
So JJ and the Lonely Bull in Asia, what's going on, man? Hope you're enjoying Thailand. Does travel content. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what I like. And the question is, my channel's been struggling lately. Views are down. Watch time is going down, and I've noticed over the last month that I'm losing subscribers. I've been trying to get to 15K, but it seems like I'll gain 5, then lose 4. I've looked at my recent videos, and I'm not losing subs from the newer videos. It's taken forever to get those last 200 subs to get that 15K. My question is, where are those lost subs coming from? Or is there some kind of glitch in the matrix? So if you want to identify on your YouTube channel where your loss of subscribers is coming from, you can actually add that inside of your YouTube analytics. And here, let me see if I can just show you quickly, because most people don't know that you can do this. Give me 1 second here. Dee, if you want to talk for a second while I find this to pull it up.
Cover this. What are you pulling up right now?
So what I'm doing is I'm going to advanced mode analytics on another channel.
Okay.
So I can show people where to see their lost subscribers.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't published this channel in a long time, so I'm not 100% sure if it'll still be showing, lost subscribers, but I can change it to lifetime if I have to.
You're going to pull it up now?
Not right now. I'm actually going in there right now to just kind of get it.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you were going to pull it up or just kind of verbally walk them through what to do.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up here in a second.
All right, we got another one. Going to get pulled up.
Mm-hmm. So
how you like in Thailand, man? How long you been in Thailand? You came from the Philippines, right? I think you were staying in the Philippines for a while. Now you've moved to Thailand. Hope things are going well for you here.
Okay, so here's where you go.
You got it?
So how many people here want to see, like, okay, how many people, have I lost from my YouTube channel? So basically, in order to see this, all you have to do is come to this area here, tap into this box, and then you want to come down here to subscribers lost. And then you tap on this, and then it's going to show you, and I'm just going to change this to lifetime, see what's kind of going on there. But basically, you find this in your advanced mode analytics at the channel level, and then you go into whatever date range it is that you want, and you hit that plus icon like I just showed you, and then that's going to show you the subscribers lost here. Oops.
I just thought of a feature for your little TubeSpanner doodler.
What is it?
It needs to have a cursor highlighter.
I agree. That's
you know,
good.
You know how Camtasia, you can choose it's got the round dot and just follows
That's
it.
Great idea.
It doesn't have to be fancy.
Yeah, for tutorials. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have
100%.
to be fancy. It just like you turn it on or you turn it off, and it just follows your
Love that.
Yeah, and anytime you click, maybe it like does a little motion or something.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Of course.
Hope you're listening to that, Danielle.
Yeah.
Andrew Can, what's up, dude?
Hey,
so, but basically, you hit that subscribers lost, and then here you can see over my lifetime on this particular channel, I've lost 6,580 subscribers, and this one is on my All Our Questions channel. Here, this How Can I Stay Awake video. Here, I lost 81 subscribers on this one. I lost 68 on the How to Tell a Feet Smell. What do colors mean? I lost 47 there. What is manipulation? I lost 42 there. But basically, this little graph right here, or not graph, but this little stat right here lets you know, like, hey, these videos are videos that I'm bleeding subscribers on. So then it helps you just be able to identify those types of things. Like pretty much anything that you're trying to understand about your YouTube channel, you can find it in your in this particular area, or not, yeah, in your advanced mode area of your YouTube channel. But this little area right here just kind of lets you know that. Now, another thing that you can do is we also have the same exact thing here. We have subscribers gained, where you see the subscribers, right, in terms of the subscribers that, that are total. But it shows you here, like, okay, these are, the specific subscribers that have been gained, for this very particular video, right? So this is in total of what you've gained pre-loss. So that's pretty cool too. And while we're in here, just since we're doing it, Dee,
let's just
go ahead and do it.
Keep it going.
So let's see here. Let me go back into here. Let me go into content. Let me go into this particular one. So just to make sure that, for those of you that have mentioned, or that I've talked to about the video performance and looking in your audience retention reports, just in case that you don't know this stuff is available, I'm going to put this to lifetime as well. So your audience retention reports, if you go to this overview tab on your YouTube channel and your analytics and you scroll down, then you're going to see this area right down here for the audience retention. Okay, so this tells you at a glance, like, how do people respond to this video?
That's good retention on
Thank
that.
you.
That's an old video.
Yeah. Yep. But basically, this is going to show you here, like, how people, are responding to the video second by second. So you can see here, I still had like 78% at the 30-second mark, and then it, just shows you here. So what I would look for if I was trying to understand how people responded to this and things that I might be able to do, or, mistakes I might have made, is I have like these little spikes. So here I would be like, okay, what happened here? I got this little bump. So was I wasting people's time here in this first opening and they're just kind of skipping ahead and that's why I have this bump? Or did I say or show something here that people were interested in that they rewound? So I would explore this area in the retention. Here, there's another either skip or rewind. So I would do the same exact thing. I'd be like, okay, there's a little bump right here, and then they skipped this here, and there's another little bump here. So are people skipping through this? Like, what's going on? What am I doing in this area? And then here, same exact thing. I've got these little kind of skip points where you just see these little bumps going across. I would come in and I'd look to see, like, what am I doing in these areas that might be causing people to skip or, rewind. Another important thing really quick as a just kind of side note to, let you be aware of. Sometimes if you see like big spikes here, it can also be to where your content's being shared out somewhere and people are actually sharing with the timestamp and they share it into a place that has a lot of views or a lot of traffic, and people will enter at that point, and that can also cause spikes in those particular areas. But then I would also come here and you can see I've got at the 5:41 second mark, I'm at 41% viewership, and then we have a massive drop off here. So for the last, like 30 seconds of this video, I see that drop off. So because of that, what I would do is I would explore here. Like, what did I do? Did I start finalizing the video? Did I start asking people to subscribe? Like, what happened? Because it's at the about 30 seconds before the video ends.
You wrapped it up.
Yeah, I basically told people, I started using that finalizing language, like, oh, hey, if you enjoyed this, blah, blah, and that causes people to start leaving. So that's what happened here. It's typical to see a loss here if people start leaving to other videos and things like that, but you want to try to get this line to go as far, out here as you possibly can, so you just have as many people completing the video as humanly possible. Then, if we click into the see more, let me back up and just kind of do that again so you can see it. If we click into the see more area right down here, let me clear that. Then one of the things that you're going to see there, I think I might have clicked into it already. Nope. Okay. There we go. So one of the things you're going to see here is you're going to see the retention, same exact thing, but some of those spikes are a little bit harder to see here, right? Which is why you also want to take note, in the other view that I showed. But basically here you have your audience retention. And every single one of you have this, okay? It doesn't matter if you've got, 100 views or if you've got, 100 million views, you have, an audience retention report. So what you do is you go in here, and again, second by second indicator, so you can see how people are responding. You can kind of look what happens in those areas. But here you also have compared to other videos, okay? Oh, it looks like there was an ad here as well. So you have compared to other videos, so you can see the organic activity here. This performs above average, right? This particular video. So we have above average all the way across, all the way here, all the way here, and then we get the average, and then we start falling below average. So because of that, this video here is competitive, okay? Because we're above average in terms of compared to other videos that are around 6 minutes and 16 seconds long or 6 minutes long. So this right here lets you know, like, are you competing? So if your graph looks something like this, where it comes in and you're just down in here, then you got work to do, right? You gotta keep working on those videos so that you can try to get that bar higher, because you're not competing as strongly against other videos of similar length. And then if you do run ads of any kind in your videos, then you can have this type of information here as well, which it looks like we also had kind of a weird response on that. And then they also show you detailed activity as well, which this is an old video, so I haven't had much activity on this in quite some time, so because of that, that's not currently available. And then just so you know, and we're just going to keep talking about this just so you guys can make sure that you have all the information that you need to try to understand how people are responding to your videos. You also get to see how subscribers and non-subscribers are responding to this, right? So you can see here, not subscribed. They're actually responding a little bit better in this case than the subscribed people. We can see here how new and returning viewers subscribe. This type of thing is really important for, like, let's say you have things that are kind of insider, right? So like, let's say you do like these little segments that maybe might alienate some people, but like your fans are like, oh yeah, I totally get what's happening here. But you maybe drag it on a little bit longer, and because of that, you end up kind of alienating the new viewers. This is what helps you identify those types of things, because you can be like, oh, okay, so for these returning viewers, they seem to respond well to it. Not in this case, but if you find those problems, you can say, well, subscribed viewers responded well to this, but new people didn't respond well to it, or returning people. So because of that, I'm going to, returning people respond well, but new people didn't. So because of that, I need to maybe, try different ways to do that. And then of course, if you pay for ads for traffic, then in that case, you'd be able to see, that difference here as well. So yeah, a lot of good information there. So hopefully you found that helpful.
Is that it? All right.
That's it. Yeah, for that.
That was a good one. Got some good feedback in the chat. People saying it was really helpful.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind too when it comes to YouTube is that, and I didn't learn this until I started doing consulting and stuff back in the day. But like when it comes to YouTube, like different content performs differently. So, because of that, some channels it'll be easier to get higher retention on than other channels. And, sometimes viewers are just more, they have more attention spans and things like that, or they just respond to content differently in different niches. So because of that, if your retention is poor, always try to improve because you can always make it better. We all can always, but sometimes, some content will just perform better or worse just based on the viewers. So the reason I'm saying this is because sometimes, like if one channel does one thing and another channel does the same exact thing, you're going to get a different response, right? Because these types of viewers will respond better to it. So for example, you'll see that happen where you have like the really snappy, super fast editing. So if you have like younger audiences and stuff, usually they'll respond well to that. But if you have like an older audience, sometimes that'll turn them off and they won't respond as well. So even though the same exact editing, style or strategy is being applied, it doesn't always work out exactly the same for, the different types of channels. So because of that, when you're looking, in all this information, you also want to make sure you are looking and you're trying to problem solve, like what could be wrong with your videos. You want to look at your demographics in terms of the ages and locations of the people watching. You want to look at the devices they're watching on, and you want to look at where they're watching from. So you also have something in that in your advanced analytics area for your traffic sources report. That's awesome because you can be like, hey, when somebody finds me from search, they will enjoy this for quite some time. Versus if they find me on home pages, they're just leaving quickly. Right. So then that can help you identify things like, okay, well, if somebody comes in from home pages, maybe my packaging is setting the wrong expectation. And by packaging, I mean topic, title, and thumbnail. Maybe that's setting the wrong expectation. And since that's setting the wrong expectation, maybe that's what's causing people to leave. So let me adjust my thumbnail and title so that I can get that better response there if you're wanting that homepage traffic. And the same would apply to suggested videos too. Bill and Fix with Mooney. What's going on? Hope you're doing great.
Hey.
All right. So next up. That was wordy.
Dude.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wordy.
I was like nodding off over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was good. That was good stuff.
Well, he's like, how do I know what videos are bleeding subscribers? Yeah. Well, yeah. Boy, did that send us on a rabbit hole.
Buckle up. Right? Yeah. So, look at the time. Yeah. 2 hours later.
2 hours later, yeah. So next up, Learn Spanish World uploads 1 time per week or more. Goal is to be a full-time YouTuber. And the question is, I really want to start live streaming in my Spanish learning channel, but this is a completely new territory for me. It's greatly...
Hey, he just came back and said, did I miss you answering my question?
Oh, that's great. Love it. Love it. It's okay.
I'm joking.
Oh, I was like, yeah, it's okay. Says, I really want to start live streaming on my Spanish learning channel, but this is a completely new territory for me. I'd greatly appreciate your guidance on what software you recommend for someone just starting out. Are there any key things that I should keep in mind before going live for the first time? Any advice you can share would mean a lot. So for software, I would use EVMUX or StreamYard. Those are the easiest right now for starting a live stream. Yeah, either one of those would be a great fit for you. For the software side, if you want things that are a little bit more complicated but a little bit more capable, then in that case, you can use OBS, which is free. You can use Ecamm, which is a great solution for Mac users. And you also have services like Streamlabs as well. And Harris Heller put out one called Mend, I think it's called, or Meld, one of the two.
I think it was Meld.
And with that one, I don't know if it's his, but I know he's working closely with him. And in that particular case, I'm in their subreddit and I've seen, some issues with it, but it seems overall people are pretty pleased with it because they're putting out some really cool and unique features. So that might also be something to explore as well to see if that's a good fit for what you're trying to do. Other best practices, make sure that you have a be right back screen. So if you need to step away for any reason, you can. And besides that, just come in and, don't fumble around that much if you can. Just start the stream and start, delivering content, as fast as you can so that the people that are waiting to go live or the people that stumble into the live stream to where something's happening when they come in. Yeah, Doug said it's called Meld Studio. Chantel said it's called Meld. And Doug said Meld Studio can highly recommend Ecamm Live for Mac users is another thing from Doug.
What's the other one?
Meld Studio. And he says he recommends Ecamm also for Mac users.
Yep.
Yeah, Ecamm's great. It's a great great software.
Yeah.
So Mathy,
and just let me throw my 2 cents on that.
Yeah,
whichever one you choose, there are a kajillion, and you can count them. There are a kajillion tutorials on how to use.
It's like a kajillion and 8.
Oh yeah. Whichever one you choose, it's endless tutorials on YouTube teaching you how to use them and how to set them up.
Meld not so much because it's new, but for the rest of them,
yeah, with the exception of one.
Yep. Mathe Verstahin, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize if not. The goal of the channel is to make money. They do math education content. The question is, I have a German math channel, and I want to serve topics around from class 7 till 10. I always try to make like 4 to 6 videos with the same topic, and then I change to the next topic. I know that it's the best to reach one audience, which is not so easy with a math channel. Do you think classes 7 through 10 is too wide an audience, or could it work because pupils from class 7 might be my audience for class 8 next school year? I don't really want to share my account due to getting the wrong audience, but if you have an explanation, could you pull it up? I will have more questions, but I already wrote much, so I'll ask for next episode again. So when it comes to trying to serve a particular age group, I would pick I would pick it based on curriculum. If you are doing this, like if you're a teacher, which is what it sounds like, and you are trying to make content for people that are in these, age ranges, then I would just pick that age range and just serve them. And it's not necessarily about the age range as it is the level of math, right? So I would just pick that level, whatever that level or those, those levels in that area are. And I would start with serving that and then exhaust that and then see how people respond to that. And then once you have, plenty of content out on that, to where you're like, okay, I've done pretty much everything that I can explain here on this side of things. Let me start inching forward so that the people that have enjoyed this and that are now educated on how to do this, that they can, also move on to this next level with me. So then the new people that are finding that other content that they're interested in, as they are doing that, you're basically training them up so that they're ready for, for that next level of the curriculum. That would be the approach that I would take, but I would exhaust each grade first, and then notch it up from there. Next up, we got Pero's Red. They do daily content, but on YouTube for a year or more. They do gaming content. Question is, how do my thumbnails look that I create with vidIQ? Let's go check.
Oh, interesting. You pulling them up, or are you just gonna?
Yeah, gonna pull them up.
All right.
Yeah, hey, it's just a reminder too. So Opus Clip. They also have a thumbnail tool to where you can just go and put your video link in there, and then it makes a thumbnail. It's still not perfect yet, but it's getting better. But you can try that if you go to opus.pro. What is it here? There it is. Opus.pro/ here, I'll just drop it in the chat. It's way easier. Yeah. And then you can just go over there and experiment with it yourself. You can upload your face in there, but they're still fine tuning it. It's still in beta, but I just wanted to share that with you because it's just amazing to me that you can take a video and drop a link in, and then it's like, hey, this is what we should make a thumbnail about. I think it's pretty incredible. But one of the use cases that I recommend while it's like in the state that it's currently in is don't necessarily look at it like, hey, this is going to make my thumbnail for me. It might, because it does nail it sometimes, but look at it like, hey, I'm going to use this as a way to generate ideas for something that I might want to use in my thumbnail. And then from there, you can, cut out elements of it or whatever when you're putting your thumbnail together in order to make, the thumbnail that you want.
Yeah, we're getting to a point where we're just not going to make thumbnails.
We're going to be nuts.
We're going to prompt it. Mm-hmm. Like, here's what the video, here's the idea of the video.
Yeah.
Give me a thumbnail and a captivating title. Mm-hmm. Done. Yeah, that's coming really soon.
Yeah, so I'm looking at your thumbnails. Let's see here. Sorting after you die, Die Hard Day 2 challenge, surviving Chernarnus with AI. Yeah, so some of these, like, in terms of the imagery, these look great, right? In terms of the imagery, but I'm not really sure what you're doing. Like, I don't know. Oh, okay, so it's a game. So Die Hard DayZ is the name of the game, I guess. Yeah, so as long as what is being created here looks exactly like it does in the game, so people that are interested in this game will be able to instantly identify that this has something to do with that game and that it's not something else, then yeah, this is a good fit. I'm not familiar with that game, so I'm not sure how much they're nailing it, but as long as you would look at this and say, yes, that's probably either a cutscene or screenplay from that game, then this is a good fit. If that's not what it is, then in that case, it's probably not doing much good for you. They look great though. The imagery is fantastic.
Yeah, a little too text heavy for some of these.
Yeah, I agree. I mean the actual imagery though. Like the imagery looks great. Yeah, if you can, I haven't used that tool over there. I think I did when they first came out and they were pretty janky. But like if you have the option to turn off text, you might want to experiment with that too, because sometimes not having text is more powerful than having text. So that might be something that you want to experiment with, because this does cover up, like Dee mentioned. I'm glad you said that, Dee. This covers up, some of the, actual imagery that might help grab somebody's attention. So because of that, you might want to, just experiment. Since YouTube has the A/B testing tool, you might want to experiment with that, so you can see if it matters to your viewers.
Yeah, sometimes when it comes to thumbnails, less is more.
Yeah,
you don't. Text
most
of the time. Yeah.
Right.
You might find that text does work best, but selective text that's very easy to read at a glance in a split second.
Yeah.
If you are putting text in your thumbnail, I should be able to read that without having to squint and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And a thumbnail should. So Wallace Bankley says a thumbnail should show your face. It depends.
Yep.
Some people do really well with that. Some people don't. It depends on your audience. It depends on your ability to make the rest of the thumbnail. It depends on your overall packaging. Like, you might be able to graphically make your thumbnail look good and put your face in it, but maybe the title is off and just the overall packaging is there, so it's a miss as a whole. So it's one of those things where you're going to have to test. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Yep.
Sometimes it works for a particular video, sometimes it doesn't work for another type of video.
Yep.
That's why if you go to either one of our channels, you're going to find some videos that don't have our face and some that do.
Yep.
Yeah, it totally depends.
And also, really quick, I forgot to mention this earlier, but Andrew Can, who's in the chat right now, I don't know if he's still here or not, but he swung in. So he is going to be doing like a full deep dive with Danielle about it's a workshop on how you can use TubeSpanner to create content and grow your channel. I'm going to put a link to the TubeSpanner YouTube channel right here. Go subscribe to that channel. Once the stream is complete, it's going to automatically send you guys over there to that particular stream. But I'm also going to be doing a live stream this week over there as well, looking at YouTube channels. So like the things where we've been pulling up channels here during the stream, and we're kind of looking at what it is that they're doing and giving them some tips. It's going to be like that, but an entire stream of that. We used to do them over there on a regular basis, but I'm going to be doing one this coming week. I think it's going to be on Wednesday. So because of that, make sure you do subscribe to that channel if that is something that you are interested in checking out. Let's see here. So next up, we have no channel yet. Let's see here. The goal is to teach others. So they say the channel I'm most interested in starting is a YouTube advice channel, but the rise of AI, I'm concerned with my efforts will be wasted. How concerned should I be over this? You should be, well, here's the thing. So if you're starting a new channel, or if you're starting a channel on YouTube and you don't know about YouTube, you probably shouldn't start a YouTube advice channel, because what's going to happen is that you're still going to be trying to learn the foundational stuff about YouTube. And I'm not saying this because I have a channel. Like, you're not going to be able to if you're teaching people about YouTube, you should know about YouTube. It's okay to ask, other people for help and, information like you're currently doing. But if you're going to be teaching people about YouTube, you should know about YouTube, and starting a channel based on that. Like, this channel didn't start, like that. I started with how to overcome camera shyness, but I wasn't necessarily targeting YouTubers. I was talking about other things too, like how to stay focused when you're working at a coffee shop, those types of things. And then it just kind of evolved into what it is now. Like when I first started the channel, I had no intention of it turning into what it is now. It just worked out that way, because people started asking me questions. And then I started following, the questions, and, YouTube says the algorithm follows the audience. I did the same thing. So basically, people started asking me, like, hey, how are you getting results like you're getting? And then I started talking about it. And then, all of that. So that other channel that I was showing you before, that's where I cut my teeth on YouTube. So I started here talking about other things, and then I went and worked on that other channel that I showed you the stats of how to find your lost subscribers. And I had the opportunity there to work with somebody that knows what it is that they're doing. We started picking up momentum on that channel. Daryl Eves, by the way, is the one, you guys, a lot of you are here familiar with him. And because he was involved, we started, picking up momentum on that channel like really quick. And then I just burned out, like I couldn't handle it anymore. And he warned me. He's like, hey, make sure that you're doing this at a rate that you can, pace yourself so that you can make sure that you do this, because sometimes it takes time and all those things. And I just went all in, and I ended up burning out, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I came back here, but I was hooked on YouTube. So I was like, hey, let me make some products. And I made a website where it was about video graphics and like packages that I could sell to YouTubers, branding packages where they got channel art, lower thirds, thumbnail templates, and things like that. And then I started making content that would get me in front of people that make videos, again, not necessarily targeting YouTube content creators. And then I was doing that so that I could bring attention to my services and those products I was selling. And then, that's when I was making content. And then people, started asking me for more very specific things like how to rank and search and stuff. And then I've just kind of followed that path. So like I don't recommend starting a channel on YouTube if you don't know like how to grow a channel. Like if you're giving advice, do your thing. Don't let me stop you when I say that. Like if you want to do that, by all means do it. Don't listen to me. But I just recommend you don't do that, because there's not going to be any credibility, right? So somebody's going to look at your channel and be like, why should I listen? Right. So just keep that in mind. But to answer your question, you're talking about ChatGPT and having it look at your channel's analytics and give advice and things like that. So I don't find it troubling for the niche. I find it. I think that people will continue to, and I'm going to apply this to education on YouTube. Okay, so anybody that does any type of educational content on YouTube, I think that AI will take some of the market share, because I know that where I would go and look for YouTube videos to help me solve problems, I ask ChatGPT first now because it's faster. So because of that, I'll be like, hey, I'm having this trouble trying to figure out this thing. What do how do I fix this? And then it'll be like, yeah, try this, do this, go here, do this, hit this, go to file, do this, and then here. It'll give me the path and all that stuff, and then it'll recommend a video. So because of that, I think that they will take a considerable market share, because it's just more efficient to go to ChatGPT. However, I think that if you provide value to people and that you are, providing additional things, like for example, here we answer questions, and there's a lot of nuance that ChatGPT currently can't, pick up, where I can look at the channel and I can instantly go this, and then I can show you like an example. I can take you into stats like I just did, those types of things. Currently, it can't do that, but they have the MCP stuff to where, they're going to be able to do that soon too, to where you're going to be able to have, technically you can do it already, to where you can actually have it looking at your screen, and then it'll be like, hey, go up here, look at this, to where it's going to coach you along. So I think that education channels in general are going to be competing with ChatGPT, but I don't think ChatGPT is going to completely eat up the entire thing. But I think that it's definitely going to become something that is going to take some of the market share. But people are going to want to hear information from people as well. So because of that, I think that there's time. But I think that it will take some of the market share, but there's still going to be plenty to go around, because not everybody's comfortable with AI. Not everybody's gonna be using. Everybody will be using it, but they may or may not know that they're using it, but they're going to be using it. But I'm not sure if everybody's going to be comfortable enough to put their YouTube channel into the hands of AI. But it's pretty good, so they might. So I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. Steve Broccoli, what's up, dude? Says, recently found you have done 9 videos, typically less than 100 views each. Is that normal? It's pretty soul destroying, but I'll keep honoring my craft. Yeah, Steve, man. So first off, man, welcome to the creator side of YouTube. When it comes to your videos getting less than 100 views each, I don't have the stat in front of me, but most videos on YouTube don't get more than 1,000 views, and a large percentage, I think it's in the 40s, like 40-something% of videos on YouTube don't break 100 views. It's either 40 or 60-something percent don't break 100 views. So because of that, what you're experiencing is normal, especially for a new YouTube channel. So what I want you to do is embrace this part of the learning curve And this is a great time to, just acknowledge like, hey, if this is something that I'm new at, there's just stuff I got to learn, right? So just like if you're learning to play guitar, you're learning to play a new sport, you get a new job, you have to learn how they do everything at that job, those types of things. You have these learning curves that you have to go through in order to be able to, do it at a level that people respond to. And because of that, when you're publishing videos now, like everything that you're doing, like, thumbnail, like your thumbnail might be great, but like your title could be off. The topic itself might not be that great. Or once people click into the video, maybe they're not, sticking around because you just haven't learned the best practices yet and those types of things. So because of that, just embrace where you're at right now in the learning curve. What you're going through is completely normal. There's probably a lot of people here in the chat right now. As a matter of fact, if you have a lot of videos that when you publish them, you don't get 100 views, just say me, just so that, Steve here can know that he's not alone. But when it comes to that side of things, it's extremely normal when it comes to YouTube. So the way that you get past that is by, learning how to do all of the things that serve your audience well. I'm going to give you a crash course. Ready? So if you need to take notes, you have it ready, or you can just watch this on the replay. So let me just take a sip of water here really quick. And we're going to talk about a crash course. Okay. First, make sure that that you are niching down in some way. What I mean by that is that you have a goal in mind in terms of what it is that you're trying to do, big picture with the YouTube channel, and that you're like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do, and this is the value that I'm trying to offer. So who is it that I'm going to be making content for that's going to receive this value? And then from there, you want to get into the specifics of those people. You want to hop in any community that you see online related to what it is that you're doing. You want to hop in any Discords. You want to hop into like anything that you can find that has anything to do with the topics you discuss. You want to be involved in those communities, completely embed yourself, check in every single day, read the posts, read the comments, read everything that's happening, engage with people there, and try to get a really good understanding of the people that are interested in the things that you are doing. So you want to look for things that people complain about. You want to look for the things that people get excited about. You want to look for the nuances in terms of the very specific things that they might talk about a lot. You want to start to get an idea of the points of view. You want to try to get just a general gauge of like age groups and stuff like that might be participating or interested in those things, so that you can make sure when you're making content that you're making the right editing decisions and that kind of stuff. But you want to participate in those groups. You want to embed yourself, and by doing that, you're going to better understand the people that you are serving with your content. But the whole idea with niching down is, back in the day, it was perfectly fine to make a YouTube channel and just make a bunch of videos about a bunch of different stuff. And because there wasn't tons and tons and tons of YouTube channels, I'm talking like, over a decade ago, but like probably like 18 years ago, at that time, there wasn't a lot of content creators and all of that. So you could do whatever you wanted. And as long as people, enjoyed your personality, they would just watch everything that you put out, because there wasn't anything else to, there wasn't a lot of competition. Now it's competitive. Every niche that you're going to get into, there's people that are thriving in that niche already, and you are going to be competing with those people, which takes me to the next thing. So when it comes to so first is niche down and make sure you understand who it is that you're making content for and what it is that you're trying to do from the channel. That's why in this form that I'm taking questions from right now, that's why I have a section that just says, just to give me some general ideas about the goal the person's trying to accomplish, so that when I'm sharing what they should, or I'm just, answering their question, that I can cater it around that thing that they're trying to do, right? So once you understand the audience and you know what it is that you're trying to do, the next thing you got to do is start figuring out the topics that they respond well to. The way that you do that is you make videos on the things that, those people care about. You look at other videos that are in your niche or other channels that are in your niche, and you look at videos that have done well for them, and you start looking for patterns. Okay, typically when people in my niche talk about these types of things or videos do well, and then you want to try to make videos that are similar in nature topically to those things because they're proven to perform well. You can absolutely introduce new stuff, and that's encouraged. So basically you should do 80% of what's already working and then 20% of new things that you can introduce. And if you start getting more traction from the new things you're introducing, then that gives you the permission to turn that into the 80, and then the things that are proven to work on other channels into the 20. Unless these are doing really well, then in that case you can just go all in on all your original stuff. But the idea is to make content around things that people are proven to be interested in, so that you can get the channel some momentum and some traction, right? And then once you start getting some momentum and some traction by using that bait of the topics that people are already proven to be interested in, then you're going to pull in some people that are going to enjoy the way that you do it, and then they'll start becoming a part of your community, and they'll start watching your content as part of the content that they watch on a regular basis. Then As you're going through all of that, and you're making videos on those particular topics, then the next thing you have to learn how to do, and you can't bypass this part. Some people can do it naturally, but almost everyone cannot. But basically, you have to learn how to come up with video ideas, right? Which is that thing that I just talked about. Then you have to learn how to make thumbnails that will help the people that you're trying to reach identify that your content is about something that they might care about. You do that by using imagery that will grab the person's attention so that they'll say, hey, this is something I'm interested in. And then they'll look at the title to see what it is that you're talking about that particular topic. Okay. Then you have to learn how to write titles that are compelling. So for that, you can watch videos and read articles or listen to podcasts on copywriting, that type of thing. That will help you there. When it comes to the thumbnails, you can use like some templates like Canva, and TubeSpanner has some of this stuff too. But really what you want to do is you want to learn basic design principles. And the reason you want to learn basic design principles, and you can watch videos on this too, is because you need to learn how to use color. You need to learn how to focus somebody's attention in an image. You need to learn how to make an image feel balanced and things like that. So learning those design principles are going to help you be able to do that. So you want to learn how to do that so you can make effective thumbnails to help grab attention. Another reason this is really important is, one, it's going to help you make sure that when you put an object in an image, or you put yourself in an image, or you're trying to focus on a very specific point in your image, it's going to ensure that there's not other stuff in the image that's taking attention away from it. I have a video on my channel. It's called something like, how small channels can grow in 2025 or something like that. But it's a recent video. It's got almost 150,000 views on it. And on that particular video, I go into detail about that. So make sure you watch that part. But yeah, so thumbnails, titles, and then the next thing is you have to learn how to make video content that competes on YouTube. So YouTube is a giant contest, okay? It's a big competition, and the videos that perform the best in terms of viewer satisfaction on YouTube for different groups of people, those are the videos that are going to thrive in those areas. So because of that, you have to learn how to make content that competes in those areas. Everything I'm talking about right now is challenging, and some of it can take some time, but it's a normal part of the process, and it's just a normal part of the learning curve and something you have to go through. So when it comes to the retention of your videos, that's going to be a big factor. It's not the only thing, but it's going to be a big factor on how well your videos are going to perform, because YouTube favors watch time, because watch time is one of the heavily weighted, meaning one of the really important things in terms of how YouTube determines if people are enjoying your content. Because if they watch for 10 seconds, that means they're not enjoying it. If they watch for, 10 minutes of an 11-minute video, it's like, hey, they probably like this because they stuck around, right? So the idea there is you have to go through the part, and this is the part that's going to be the most challenging for most people, is you have to learn how to, when somebody first starts a video, how to say things and present things in the right way, or show the right things, or start your story in the right way, or use the right, hook to help that person, feel that the thing that you're getting ready to share is, important in some way or worth watching. That's
hard.
It is. It's hard.
That's really hard to do.
It is. But you have to learn that. You have to learn how to grab their attention there, and then you have to be able to, take them through the entire video. And there's all kinds of details that go into that. So for that, watch videos on editing, watch videos on presenting, watch videos on charisma, so you can just make sure you're communicating well. In addition to that, there's a very specific channel called Harris Hellier Smith. Watch his channel, because he gets into some really deep stuff around editing. So make sure that you're watching his channel while you're trying to learn this stuff. From there, those are really the core things you need to focus on. Learn just basic stuff in terms of make sure your YouTube channel set up properly, make sure that you're structuring your titles correctly. I've got videos on this, but make sure your channel set up properly, make sure that you are using, all of YouTube's features, not necessarily all the different content types, that's up to you, but make sure that you have everything filled out in your settings on your YouTube channel. Make sure that, your channel page, has, playlists, people can go and find more content, those types of things. Make sure you're using end screens, cards, pinned comments, all those things to make it easy for viewers to find more content. But the idea is to just make sure that you understand the platform. And then in addition to that, make sure that you do, over time, get familiar with your YouTube analytics as well, because you're going to learn a lot in your YouTube analytics as you start publishing videos that people do respond to better. It can really help you fine tune things to make, the best content that you can for the people that you're trying to serve. So hang in there. You got this. Like Dee said, it's tough. Yeah. But those are the things that you need to make sure that you're learning in order to break that cycle that you're in of the 100 views.
Yeah, it's tough. Mm-hmm. It's tough, and it doesn't matter
Hey, Neil. What's up, dude?
Hey, Neil. It doesn't matter how long you've been at this, how many videos you've made. It's still something that everybody still struggles with.
Yeah. Paul Leon. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And just when you think you nailed it, the data tells you otherwise.
Right. Yep.
Like, I nailed this one. Super happy with this one.
Yep. Yep. So let's see here. So next up, we've got, okay, we did the AI question. So next up, we've got Talugi, Fax, and GK. The goal of the channel is to make money, and there isn't a question. Okay, so we'll skip that one.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate.
So next up, we've got Chanda Stegall. Any relation to Steven, out of curiosity? Is that Seagal or Stegall?
Seagal.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, this is Stegall. Okay, so let's see here. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what I like. They do faith-based encouragement content. The question is, my last video had a CTR of 6.9. Average view duration was 45%. Length 14 minutes. Views 232. It was 2 out of 10. I can't seem to break out to more views. Any thoughts? I have 3 content pillars that I rotate, and none of them get a couple hundred views. Pillars are all pursuing God, goals, growth, and community. So one big thing that you left out was impressions. Not a lot, since you got 232 views. So because of that, like, just keep, trying to improve. What I recommend that you do, just because you don't have a lot of data to work with right now. So at 232 views, with that amount of impressions, like, you should probably have a higher click-through rate for that niche. I've actually never, had experience in that niche, so I don't know for sure. But in most niches, like, you should be higher than a 6.9 with, that low of impressions. But
how many impressions?
well, the total views is 232, so they haven't had many.
Okay.
But when you say here that it was a 2 out of 10, one thing that I just want to put a highlight on real quick: don't spend too much time focused on the X out of 10 number. The reason for that is because when you first publish a video, hey, my pleasure, Steve. When you first publish a video, the it doesn't determine the long-term reach of that video. So, there's a couple, places where it does, like if you're doing, things on, news or something like that, then it does. But in terms of like long-term growth on YouTube, or long-term viewership on YouTube, if you make content that's evergreen, then, then that initial performance isn't like, critical, so to speak. Like, if you pick up momentum at the beginning and people continue doing well, that's great. And it might do fine. But sometimes, like, you can publish a video that your most engaged people respond to well. That takes you to a high number, and then it ends up dropping off. Because as it gets into more casual viewers, they don't like it as much. Sometimes it'll start out, and your most engaged people, they won't care much about it. But as it gets into casual viewers, it just finds more viewers are into what it is that you're doing, then those people might enjoy it, and then it can take off later. So because of that, I wouldn't worry too much about the 1 out of 10. For me, when I publish a video, I pay attention to what's going on. But I don't like freak out if I publish something and it doesn't do well, within the first week or whatever. I usually will be like, okay, maybe I need to make some changes because I know what my baselines are. But maybe I need to make some changes to this because it's underperforming compared to other things. However, I know, because I've been, doing this for long enough, that I know that when I publish something that it's usually takes a little bit of time to just to really start accumulating some good numbers on it.
Yep.
Let's see here. So let's see.
How we doing on questions?
Oh yeah, and also just follow all the stuff that I told Steve. Same exact thing there. Because it could be that you just have to learn some of the basics, things like that to kind of get past that initial issue. Who's Prep Tech is the next channel, D. They upload 1 time per week or more. Goal of the channel is to teach others. They do long form channel showcasing emergency preparedness technology. This is cool. This is kind of up your alley, D.
We need this. We need more channels like this.
Yep. So the question is, I have a hot video that's blowing up compared to my other videos right now. It has steadily increased impressions for the last 35 days. It's maintained a 5% CTR, and it's higher than usual retention in the first 30 seconds. Should I edit the video in the attempt to improve its analytics, or should I let it ride? How long should I not touch the video? If I do decide to edit it, thanks, guys. So yeah, let it sit, man. Let it ride. Yeah, let it ride. Like, if people are already responding to it, and you've had it on there for 35 days, let it ride. Like, if people are responding well to it, you're still maintaining that, you're still getting real-time views coming in. Yeah, let it ride. When it comes to the edit trying to be like, hey, if I edit out this part, then, it might do better. In some cases that works, but not all, it doesn't always work. So, because of that, you're taking a gamble there when you do that. And YouTube is also removing the option for, being able to like restore the video and stuff. So if you do make the mistake there, then, depending on the timing of that, you might not be able to, restore it otherwise, that kind of stuff. So because of that, I would just let it ride and see how it goes. But start thinking about that next video. Because if that video is blown up on your channel compared to your other videos, then that means you've kind of struck something that you can prove that people, or that you have proven that people are interested in. So because of that, be like, okay, for the people that are interested in this, if they're interested in this, what else would they like? What's the closest next thing that they might be interested in? And then you want to, and then you want to make a video about that thing. So like in my case, right? So if I were to publish something on like let's do it easy, how to get views, and then that video does well, and I'm like, okay, well, what's next? Well, they probably want to know how to get subscribers too, right? So it's that same exact thing, right? Just for like a clear, explicit example there. Hey Janet, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. So next up, we've got Tech Boost. They upload 1 time per week or more. It's a tech review channel. Says, how can I improve my RPM in general? Some tips for every niche. So when it comes to the revenue per mil, D, any suggestions?
I'm sorry, I wasn't even listening.
Basically, they're trying to improve their RPM in general for their YouTube channel. Any suggestions?
They're trying to improve it in general?
Yep.
What's their niche?
They're doing tech review.
I would just make more videos. I mean, if you're not going to change your niche, you're making tech review videos. I would just make more videos.
So making more videos, but add mid rolls. So add mid rolls to your videos. If you're not already, you can add more mid rolls.
That's why
I was asking you, because we
were just talking about
that.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about.
That's why I was like,
Whoosh.
Yeah, that was like a alley oop. Yeah, but we missed it.
I had a video doing really well on my channel that I was trying to figure out. I was like, man, why is this one making so much more money than the others? It was the ad roll, the mid rolls. Yeah, the mid roll, very specifically placed. Mid roll. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you just alley oop that one, and I just like.
Hey, it's right. It happens. So add mid rolls, and you might want to add more mid rolls, but just make sure you are considering like, okay, where am I, putting these, and then YouTube is going to kind of help you along with that, let you know where you're putting them to where maybe it might not be the best fit for that, and also keep in mind when you're adding mid rolls, one of the things that people think is like, okay, if I add these mid rolls, then in that particular case, like YouTube is going to show ads to people in every single one of these spots, and people are going to get upset about it. But what happens is for every user on YouTube, YouTube has like an ad tolerance.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like, okay, how many ads can we show these people before they leave? So what they do is they will adjust, that experience for their users. So, like I might have a different ad tolerance than you, and therefore I might see more ads than you do, or you might see more ads than I do. So during that particular video, a viewer is going to see, based on that. In addition to that, another thing is that when it comes to, hold on, what's Renee says? Renee says mid-rolls can be especially as videos get longer and people watch more on TV. Yeah, for TV viewership, mid-rolls are great too.
One thing that's really,
but also in terms, just really quick, in terms of the the worry that creators have about annoying the viewers, keep in mind also that like premium users, they don't see those mid-rolls, and with YouTube, they're going to show it to them based on how their system thinks that person's going to respond.
Yeah, one thing I find confusing is now that YouTube puts they show us where it's possible that we can put an auto ad, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
When you're balancing that out with the manual ads, mm-hmm. I just find that really confusing because you're like, okay, maybe I want to add here, let's just say 4 minutes because it seems to do well with what I have, right?
Yeah.
So, and then YouTube, if you turn on the auto ads, they might put something just like 4.5 minutes, mm-hmm. and you're just like I don't know about that. That's exactly what it is. You're just like, Renee, maybe you can answer this. So
They would see one of those. They wouldn't see both.
They wouldn't see both.
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah. It's very likely they won't see both. You can't guarantee it. You can't guarantee it.
Right, Renee. So,
but yeah, it's likely.
Maybe Renee can answer this. Renee,
I mean, technically, if they watch, like, I know sometimes I'll catch a mid-roll and it shows me 2 ads like back to back.
Right.
So
that's
yeah,
what
those
I'm
types
saying.
of things can happen too.
Right. So Renee, I was gonna ask you, since you're
But I
in
think
here.
that's I don't know this for sure, but I think when they show it back to back, and maybe Renee can add some clarity here, I think that still counts for that one ad break because they're typically shorter ads.
Yeah.
When it does that.
I see. So okay, Renee's saying here they both wouldn't show.
Yeah.
Do you know what the threshold is though?
It's different for viewers. So that's what I was saying before about, like, if you watch YouTube and you respond to ads in one way, and then I watch YouTube and respond to ads in another way, then if you and I were both watching the same video, then the place where we see those ads or where they're triggered,
no, I get that. But what I'm asking is, where is the threshold? Because there has to be a limit for everyone to where it's just like,
no matter what, we don't show it to people within this.
Yeah. No matter what,
they're probably not allowed to
disclose that. We're going to give you a safe buffer. Between if I put a manual in here and then they put a recommended one here, like, no matter what, is there a buffer? Like, is there a guarantee that one of those is not going to show within a certain time period?
Yeah, he says it depends on your total session, not just that video.
Ooh,
yeah, it's cool.
Total session.
Yep. Thank you, Renee. Appreciate that, man.
YouTube's creator, Lazion. That's why he's in here, ladies and gentlemen.
So, hey, man, he was hanging out before that. So,
So we have more videos and we have mid-rolls, mid-roll ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and Stanley didn't know that. He says, wow, I didn't know that.
Too. Yeah, other things, too, is like, if you qualify for it, you can also use, like, the YouTube shopping stuff. Like
tagging products,
right? Like if you have like supers turned on, and people regularly give you a super thanks and stuff like that, that can increase it. Those types of things. Basically, any way that you can generate additional income for your videos is going to help increase that. He says the slots aren't where ads will show; they're only the places as a creator that you're allowing them to show. Yeah, so it follows the concept of monetized view versus a non-monetized view.
I think that's confusing. I think how they've packaged the automatic part and how they work with the manual. I just think it's confusing. When you're looking at it, you're just, like you said, you're just kind of like, it's just not clear.
Should be now though.
Yeah, well, we have Renee in here to answer that.
Yep.
But if Renee was not in here, we'd all be going,
yeah. So, China Jack-a-Roll, I hope I'm saying that correctly. They do music cover channel and original songs. The goal of the channel is to quit their job and be a full-time creator. And the question is, just wanted to say I've been watching you forever, just showing some love. Love you guys. I'm pushing, trying to make content. I'm just going to keep going. Thank you for the kind words. Glad that you are enjoying the content, and keep going. This stuff can be challenging. There's a lot to learn, a lot to do. So just focus. The best thing you can do is focus on, like, who am I trying to reach, and how can I give them what it is that they want as much as possible, and then work on all the skills around helping you do that exact thing, right? So next up, we've got Jonathan Sturgill Music, Guitar, and Gear. Sounds like a fun channel. Yeah. They do music, guitar, and gear reviews. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, I know you're aware of my channel. I've been making guitar. Am I subscribed to your channel? All right. He said, I know you're aware of the channel. So I'm like, all right, let me go look. Hold on. You got me there. You got me. You got me looking.
Got him.
Yeah, got me looking. I'm subscribed. Okay, good. Love it. Okay.
You got
I'm already subscribed. Yep. So says, know you're aware of my channel. I've been making guitar cover videos that are dead. And I'll be publishing, I've been making guitar cover videos that are dead, and I will be publishing many more, trying to get away from guitar and gear reviews. I'll be going live soon, too, playing my song. Should I make an artist channel or not? Leave it as is. My channel really seems doomed no matter what. So here's the thing when it comes to the channel being doomed, is that right now you're doing music, you're doing guitar, and you're doing gear. So one thing to think about is, I'm subscribed to your channel. Okay, so we're going to put this into like a real life context.
All right, here we
go.
go.
Let's say that I watch one of your guitar tutorials. Well, in that particular case, I watch a tutorial and I'm like, hey, this is great. Yeah, I love how this guy explains things. I'm going to come and I'm going to hang out. And, you know, like I just want more of this. And then you publish a video about a guitar cover. I'm not there for the guitar covers. I'm just there for to learn about guitar. So therefore, I'm not going to click on that video. And then you publish a video called My Guitar Interpretation of Crying in the Chapel, which is another song. So then you have that, and then you have another song. Well, what's going to happen is I'm not going to reply to, after I watch this Dream Acoustics Top High-End Guitars for Pro Players video, because let's say I was buying a guitar or whatever, you published 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, yeah, so 4 videos in a row that are songs, and I'm not going to click on those. So what happens is, I start telling YouTube, by not responding to your content, not clicking on it, I start telling YouTube that I'm not interested in what it is that you're doing, right? Because YouTube's like, hey, maybe you'll like these. Hey, you engaged with this video here, maybe you'll like some of these. And then they keep trying to show me your videos, but because I'm not responding to them, they're like, oh, okay, must not be interested. And then instead of showing me yours, they're going to show me other content that they think that I might respond to. So I think one of the problems that you're having right now is more about kind of putting different types of content on your channel that's for different types of people versus that the channel itself is dead and that you can't revive it. So in my opinion, I think that you could revive this if you wanted to where you just focus this channel on either guitar and gear reviews or songs. Because with the guitar and the gear reviews, there's crossover, right? Hey, I'm teaching you how to play guitar, but if you're learning how to play guitar, here's also some cool gear because you're obviously, you know, learning how to play guitar, and here's some gear that, you know, you might enjoy as a guitar player, right? So there's some crossover there. But when it comes to the songs, you're kind of removing the connection to the people that are interested in there. You're going to have some crossover, but at scale, which is how you got to think when it comes to YouTube, you're working against yourself here. So one thing that you might want to consider is, yes, starting another channel for your songs, and then having this channel dedicated to the guitar and guitar product review content. So then that way, the people that like to listen to you play music, they can listen to your content over there. And then the people that like to learn from you and see how you know, review products and all that, for those people, then they can get that value from this particular channel. Then that way, what you do when you make that separation is you have this channel that's going to serve this particular type of viewer that wants to listen to music while they're, you know, doing stuff. And then you have people like me also. And then you have this group over here that, you know, wants to, you know, learn how to play guitar and learn about, you know, guitar related things. So yeah, that would be the first thing that I would recommend, is that you get that particular part sorted.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I follow a lot of music channels, and a lot of them are like, here, I'm gonna let's just say teach you music production. And you're like, well, I really like this person, and watching the videos, here's my guitar cover of something, whatever. Here's my band's rendition of a Pearl Jam song. And it's like, yeah, okay, maybe, you know, maybe, but that's not why I'm here.
Right.
And, you know, if they put more of those out, that's usually the end.
Yeah.
I stop watching, and YouTube stops recommending the channel to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other things too, like let's say that I go there for the music. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty good music.
Yeah,
and then I go
way.
and I'm trying to find, you know, other music on the channel. If all I see is songs, then I can just go to your most recent video playlist and hit play and just listen to it in the background while I work. But now, if I go to your most recent videos playlist or your you know, your uploads playlist, and I hit play, then I'm going to hear songs for a little bit, and then I'm going to hear you talking about guitar products, and I'm going to hear you talking about how to play guitar, and then I'm going to hear, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be consistent for me. So, so because of that, you know, it's going to cause me not to participate. So, so that niching down thing is really powerful when it comes to YouTube. Let's see here. Next up.
Niching down.
We've got laugh lines and life lessons. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do midlife empowerment content. The goal of the channel is to quit your job and be a full-time creator.
Love it.
The question is, I would love any and all input that you have. I think you're amazing, and I've never attended a live stream before because I'm usually not up early, but I'm so happy to be here. So let me pull up your channel real quick and let me see what you got going on.
Time
welcome
in
to the
live stream. Welcome to Nimin Live.
Welcome to the stream. So let's see what we got here.
Welcome to Nimin Live.
So I'll just give you some really quick tips if I can find anything. We'll see. Okay, and let me present. All right. Survival, sarcasm, and second chances with jokes, laugh, lines, and lessons, trying to figure out what you're doing. Embrace your boldest, unapologetic selves. One conversation at a time. Expect no sugarcoating, just relatable advice that makes you feel seen and understood. It's about reclaiming confidence, embracing who you are now, and building resilience for whatever life throws your way. Okay. So yeah, so I'm not okay. So you're just giving life advice then, is what this channel is about. So for that, I would just get a little bit more clear on that, up here. That particular thing is not going to be like a huge, difference in terms of growth or anything, but just adding that type of clarity, like life advice, makes it a little bit more clear on what it is that you're offering, as long as that still works with what it is that you are, as long as what you're saying in your About Me page is still consistent. It feels like it's not enough. Here's the truth. What's the point? Work hard, get screwed. Here's 5 work truths you need to know. The game. Yeah, so like this one here, since this one is work truths, this is one where a little bit of clarity on the thumbnails would be helpful. So I'm not sure if you're currently using the A/B testing tool on YouTube or not. But this is something that I want you to experiment with some of your videos. So like this particular one is about helping people that are into work. So here, instead of having it as the game, maybe like, work truths or something like that. So then that way it's just, more clear at a glance, this has something to do with work. Since the topic of this is 5 work truths that you need to know. How adulthood actually works, not the, okay, this isn't the norm. I don't know how to be a person anymore. Yeah, people are responding to what it is that you're doing. So like, what you're doing is,
working.
Yeah, like your content is definitely working. So a couple of things. So one thing that can be really powerful, especially when it comes to videos like this. Well. One thing that can be powerful is like really leaning into emotion. So you have it a little bit in this particular one, but here it's kind of lacking that. But since this one's like, I don't know how to be a person anymore, like I would experiment, for this video here.
I want to watch that video.
I know, right?
No, seriously. Yeah. Just on the thumbnails, I'm looking at it here. This isn't normal. You got breaking news, you got a Twitter icon, and just like the world's on fire behind you. Yeah, just the packaging there. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. But from an emotional standpoint, though, like, adding a little bit more emotion here, might be. I mean, you kind of do, though. Like your eyes are big. So, yeah, that might be okay. You're doing fine. How adulthood actually works, not the full version. Yeah, so for this one here, I'm not really sure how to like represent this one. But this one here doesn't really scream that it's, life advice, but, people are still, enjoying it, which is great. I think the place that I would add the most value to you would actually be in the video content itself, but unfortunately I can't do that here during the stream.
You're doing fine. Just my 2 cents. I think you like sitting on the sofa cuddling with your dog close up. That would just be, I don't know, that would speak to me more than you sitting there eating popcorn, maybe with the dog in the background.
Yeah, a little bit more clear too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another one in terms of it just being like casual. It's more emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having that, like emotional thing, like, that's a great suggestion.
Yeah. You're doing well though. I just think minor tweaks on some of this stuff.
I thought I was successful. I was just compliant. My bad. Listen. Yeah, people are responding to what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, and so that's the key.
Because people are responding well to what it is that you're doing. Like, I mean, they're even responding to these where you're not in the thumbnail. But one thing that I would definitely consider is because you have 21,000 subscribers, so you have people that know who you are. I don't know how many views that you have on the channel in total, but you got people that know who you are. So because of that, I would definitely experiment if you're not already, even with things like this, just making sure that you're in there, at least for, the publish of the video, and you might have done this already, but making sure that you're in these so that the people that do love you and love, seeing your stuff, so that they can know that you're a part of this video at a glance. Because the place where that becomes powerful is, like, let's say that somebody comes in, one of these 72,000 people here that watch this video. Let's say they're like, wow, this is great. I love her. Then in that particular case, let's say YouTube recommends like this video to them and they like it. And then they recommend this video to them and they like it. When they recommend this, just because they can't clearly see that it's you, then, you might be missing out there on people that would click on it just because of you, right? So because of that, if you haven't experimented with that yet, I would definitely A/B test that because these have been on the platform for a little bit now. So run an A/B test on here with having a thumbnail with you in it versus this as the A/B test, and just see, if you end up getting a better response there. Let's see here. You good? Midlife is just puberty with taxes. Yeah. So one thing here that I want to just kind of bring to your attention here you have like, I thought I was successful. I was just compliant. My bad in terms of the angle that you're taking with this. When survival feels like it's not enough, here's the truth. Work hard, get screwed. Here's 5, truths you need to know. Here you have midlife is puberty with taxes. With this, it's more just like a statement instead of, something that is, kind of emotional. For this one that's underperforming here, you might want to, try to make this one a little bit more emotional so that it's just more in alignment with what it seems people are responding to on your channel. Reckoning, they think I deserve this. Yeah, so in your case, based on what it is I'm seeing, so your packaging is working, like people are responding well there. So a couple things is I would definitely start, if you're not doing this already, I would start using, like where you're at right now is where YouTube analytics can come in really helpful for you. So one of the things that that you might want to start doing now from like a topic standpoint is start breaking all of these different content decisions that you're making into different categories. So for example, like, this is my work related content. This is my world is falling apart type content. This is my, life is hard content. And use the grouping feature. So to find that, you go into here. I'll just show you real quick. Hold on.
Here we go.
Oop. Hold on. Let's see.
You're going into your analytics?
Yeah.
Do you need me to take you off screen for a second?
No, I'm okay. It's a different window. Let's see here.
Laugh Lines and Life Lesson says great feedback. Thank you.
Hold on, we're still going.
All right, here we go. Hey Roberto, how you doing?
Yep. Hey Roberto, what's up, dude?
Good to see you. Roberto says a hack. It just moved. A hack that gets views is writing your title and then asking Chat GPT to make this title as polarizing as possible while not losing the meaning and make it under 60 characters. Be careful with this. Interesting. I haven't done that. Guess what I'm doing tonight?
So let's see here. So here, okay. So, and this is on an old channel that I have. This is the same one that I was showing you guys earlier. So what you can do here is inside of a YouTube channel, and they kind of, hide this. Like you can find it here if you go to the compare to and you see groups over here, or you can come over here to your channel name and you click into here, and then you also see this area here. Depending on the version of analytics you see, this might be in a different place, but the idea is that you can click into here, you can go to groups, and then here you can create a new group. So you can see here, and these are all old, back from like 2022, and older than that. I think I came in here with 2020 just using this as I probably recorded a video or something and did this. So here we have, and I'm just going to show you kind of how this works. So I have thumbs with no faces here, and then I'm going to compare that to groups, thumb with faces. And this is only 4 videos. So I would do, more videos than this, but, this just kind of gives you an idea. But basically what you can see here is you can start to see like, different information in terms of how they perform here from a view standpoint. But if we change this here to a multi-metric table, then we can start getting into some fun stuff, and I can start seeing like, click-through rate and, click-through rate and average view durations and, all of that stuff here. So you can basically start comparing content against each other and some of the decisions that you're doing against each other. So in this case, I was just doing faces against no faces, but some of the ways that you can use this is you can say like, okay, here's the content where I'm talking about work-related things. Here is the content where I'm talking about, more general problems that people deal with. Here's the content where I'm just like freestyling something just based on I'm having like a really strong opinion about something, whatever. But you basically start breaking it down in this way, and then you can start comparing the content against each other to start figuring out what it is that people respond to best. And then you can start leaning into those topics more. And if you look here, when I open up this window, you also have a lot of additional information that you can add to this to help you, just kind of determine how people are, responding to, each of the different content types. And you can also, do this based on your goals too. So if you're like, hey, trying to monetize, then in that case, you will have on a monetized channel, you'll have, all the revenue stuff in here. You can do this based on which channels grow your subscribers, which videos, typically have a higher click-through rate, those types of things. But like where you're at right now, because of the amount of views you're getting and stuff like that, you have a lot of really good data to work with. So I would definitely go in and start playing with this area if you haven't yet, so you can start, just kind of figuring out what it is that people are There we go. What it is that people are really wanting the most from you, because, you know, like you're getting results. People are responding to you. So now what you have to do is you have to be like, okay, now let me make sure that, you know, as many videos as possible that I publish, they're resonating, you know, as much as humanly possible based on, you know, how my videos are performing here. And other things that you can do now as well, because your videos are obviously competitive, but now you can also start going into your audience retention reports and looking for, you know, places there to improve, because like where you're at now, you're getting a response. So once you're getting that response, then the next thing is like, okay, how can we kind of, you know, level this up? And your stats is gonna, you know, help you identify, you know, those types of things. But I would definitely go into there and start using the grouping feature, start paying really close attention to your analytics and looking for things like, okay, if I start kind of beating this dead horse, or I turn this thing that I'm talking about into a session where I'm beating a dead horse for X amount of time, how are people responding to that, right? Those little types of details can give you insights that you'll be able to adjust around when it comes to your content to make the best video possible for the people that are responding. But first, I would do it on the topic thing that I was talking about through the groups. And then once you decide like, okay, these are the videos I'm probably going to make more of because it's what people respond to better, that's where you go in and you start paying really close attention to the previous audience retention. So you can start looking for, you know, places that you can improve in the video content itself.
Are we going to do any more TubeSpanner?
Yeah, we definitely will. Yeah, it's 10:30 now, so we will here in just a little bit.
Hey, Demon Dro, man.
She says she can't see me, but I'm looking at you and nodding furiously.
There you go.
Nice. Love it. Demon Dro, thanks, man. Appreciate it. It says, what's the best site for selling a course? Who takes the least money?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Really good question. So in terms of the best site, I don't know, because it all comes down to the features that they have that are going to be, you know, the best fit for you. But Kajabi's a reputable one. Uscreen is a reputable one. I know with Uscreen, they have a monthly fee that you pay. And with that monthly fee, it doesn't matter if you sell, you know, millions of dollars or if you just sell enough to cover that monthly fee. It's still just that monthly fee. I think that I can't remember. I think Kajabi takes a percentage, but there's also just ones to look into. So Thinkific, thanks, Nikki. So you have Thinkific, you have Kajabi, you have Uscreen, and there's more. But off the top of my head, like those are pretty popular ones.
YouTube is releasing something that you can do.
Yeah, but they're still experimenting with that on some. Yeah, on some. Yeah, so Roberto, he said that Kajabi takes no money. You pay for it, but you also get the most features and unlimited video hosting. Yeah, so it's kind of like Uscreen then, where you basically pay your monthly fee, and then they have you covered there. Okay, so Nikki says that Uscreen was hard for her, and it took a long time to set up. So there's some feedback. So Roberto's like, hey, Kajabi, and Nikki's like, hey, had some trouble with Uscreen. So yeah, maybe try Kajabi first and see how they do. But I know, like, I've went into Uscreen and messed around there, and I've had some stuff in the past where I've set up Kajabi, and both of them, you know, I was fine in both of them. But yeah, checking out either one of those would probably be good. And really quick, Roberto, do you have like any type of like promo code or anything where you might be able to get a trial? I know Roberto's like sponsored by Kajabi, or he does some sponsorship things, so he might be able to give you like a promo code or something. So I would definitely try to connect with him, maybe DM him on Twitter or something, and see if he can get you a promo code. Or if you just have one, Roberto, you can drop it in the chat. Totally fine with me. Let's see here. So next up, we've got, okay, we did the Life Lessons channel. We have, let's see here, Life with Audrey, Jay, and Family. They do daily content, but on YouTube for a year or more. They do blogs, reviews, and info. The goal of the channel is to teach others. Let's see here. So really quick, Laugh Lines and Life Lessons. At this moment in time, I'm not taking on any clients. Like I help people sometimes, like just like via Twitter and stuff like that. And I do have some channels that I, help consistently. But right now I'm not taking on any clients. I'm focusing on like app development right now and learning all that stuff. I might be in the near future, but If you are trying to,
she said, "Are you sure? Come on."
Yeah. So I might be again here in the near future. But basically, if you want to DM me on Twitter, or if you want to just send me an email at askniman@gmail.com, if you want to let me know what it is that you're trying to do, then either I might be able to help you, like, right there on the spot, and just kind of give you some advice there, or I can refer you to the right person based on the goal that you have or what you're trying to accomplish, and then we can see if we can get you taken care of there.
Roberto just dropped his Kajabi link.
Okay,
in
perfect.
the chat. Thanks, Roberto.
Perfect. Thanks, dude. So let's see here. So next up, so let's see here. Life with Audrey J and family. Daily content goals to teach others. The question is, I create live and videos, but I don't get enough subscribers and views. What should I do? You got to go through the process of learning how to do all the best practice stuff. So right now, one of the things you said here is I don't know my niche. So start there. Yeah. Right. Start with like, okay, I got to figure out, what it is that I'm doing here. So learn what it is that you want out of your YouTube channel long term. Just think big picture. And the way you want to think about that is you want to think about, okay, over the next, let's say 5 years, if everything worked out exactly as I would just love for it to work out on YouTube, what type of content would I be making? Who would I be making that content for? What would my content look like? What would my content sound like? How would I be presenting things? What other creators might I be, like hanging out with, because, maybe we would be collaborating in some way, like that kind of thing. And just try to like big picture the whole thing so that you can, really kind of look into the future versus like, hey, I'm just trying to like, get, a view on this video, so that you can actually start designing that path for yourself based on what it is that you actually want out of your YouTube channel. Johnny Trades, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So let's see here.
How are we doing on questions?
Shark Driver says, something tells me this lady is not the kind that takes no for an answer.
Yeah,
I'm getting those vibes too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Yeah, we might end up working together.
If you want to DM me,
we'll see. Yeah.
Forget him. If you want to DM me, I'll tell you where he lives. I'll give you a Google map and directions to his house.
Shows up. Hey,
so
you working with me yet?
Depending on how determined you are, I can make it happen.
That's funny.
I mean, we might have to, do some things with him and pin him down and tie him up.
Yep. Give me noogies, that kind of stuff.
Just give him noogies, or threaten to smoke him out of his house and burn it down.
Right.
Kidnap the dog, maybe. But we can probably figure out how to get it done.
Yeah, I'm heading to Zimbabwe shortly, so whatever. Yeah, give away whatever you want. It's fine.
Yeah, burn whatever you want. I don't care.
Scales Train Station. Thanks for that out right there. Appreciate that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, Valentine Station said it too. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, that's good. Gave me my escape. That was great.
See, that's the thing, is he's playing like 4D chess.
Yep.
He knew. Yep. He knew that I was going to out him.
Yep.
And start giving out.
So I've been watching Zimbabwe videos, so I'm like, all right, here we go.
Yep. He was
just
like,
in case.
I have a feeling.
Yep.
I have a feeling he's going to
funny.
start Google. He's going to Google pin my house.
Right.
And give it to the internet.
Scratches Poon Lotto is the next one. That's kind of funny. I almost feel like I was Simpsoned there. Just a second. But it is an actual channel name. But the type of channel is lottery tickets. The question is, how much does it affect views when I don't reply to comments? Also, how much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? So on the second part, I have no idea. When it comes to the comments being affected, or your videos being affected by your comments. So couple things to think about here when it comes to comments. The very first is, if you're not trying to grow a community, then you don't have to answer comments if you don't want to. If you're trying to grow a community, it's helpful because then, when people leave a comment, they know that their comment has been seen. They know that you're responsive in your comments, like that kind of stuff. And, there's value in that. So because of that, from the viewer standpoint, they might go and watch people that respond to their comments compared to people that don't. So when it comes to YouTube itself, it's not a big deal. But when it comes their system, you're not going to get penalized for not answering your comments. But when it comes to the viewers themselves, you might, right? So, for example, if you're engaging with a channel and you're like, hey, this is awesome, and you're leaving comments or asking questions, that kind of stuff, and you're not getting any response, and you're checking and you're actually wanting that response, then in that case, you're going to be like, they're not really responding. So because of that, maybe I'll still watch their content, or maybe not, it could go either way, but you are not going to get penalized. But if you're trying to grow a community, I do recommend that you do it. Dream, what's up? Yeah, I think you were here a couple weeks ago, I believe. Or maybe it was last week. I'm not sure. It kind of all blurs together. Doesn't it, Dean?
Does. It does.
Yep. So next up on the list here, we got Scales Train Station, uploads when they have time. They do model train content. The goal is to quit their job. And the question is, what do you think of using shorts to augment a long? Specifically, I was thinking of creating a short for the project reveal and beauty shots so I can use music that would demonetize the long form and link them together. Let the viewer know that they can see the final reveal in this short, and let the short viewer know that they can see how this was done in the long. Could this work or too chopped up? Yeah, so the thing that I'm the biggest fan of is if you're making content for shorts, make it, like if you want it to do well. Like if you're like, hey, I just want to grab a quick 2 viewers and get them over to my long form content, then in that case, you might, be able to. But if you want the content to perform well in shorts, make your content so that the viewer that is in YouTube Shorts that clicked on the button because they want to watch YouTube Shorts, make your content so that they'll love it. And then that way, if they love it, then there's a momentum thing that happens. So let's talk about this because this has come up a couple times. So there's a momentum thing that happens. I'm sure all of you can relate to this. So when you are on YouTube Shorts, you're on TikTok or Instagram Reels or any of the vertical, options that we have. So when you're on those platforms and you watch somebody's, hey, appreciate it, Andrew, hooking me up with the Zimbabwe fund.
There you go.
So when you are watching as a viewer, not as a creator, but when you're watching content and something pops up and you're like, oh, that was hilarious, or wow, that was really smart, or wow, that was helpful, or like, oh, that was interesting, or like, oh God, I didn't even know that was possible, whatever the thing is. And then you move on with your life, whatever. Next time when a video pops up and you see that person in your brain, you're like, oh, that person's funny. Oh, I remember. Oh yeah, I remember I learned something from them. Then in that particular case, you're going to give them a little bit more time than you would just a random video popping up. And then after you've experienced that, 5, 6 times with the same person, we're like, man, every time this pops up, oh, hey, I recognize that person. They give me good stuff. I'm going to watch it. Then in that particular case, you're going to start creating viewers over in the short shelf that are, they're used to seeing your stuff and they know that they can depend on or count on you when it comes to that content showing up. So the advantage of making content for YouTube Shorts that does that is that you can start picking up momentum there because people know that they can count on you with that content. And by count on you, I just mean that they know it's going to be good content worth watching. So then down the road, if you're doing like a big project or a big hero video or something like that, and you're like, yeah, I want to make sure I'm bringing some attention to this. Now you have an audience in shorts to where when you're like, hey guys, I just made this, video, whatever. YouTube has the people that when you publish shorts, they're like, yeah, every time we, this guy publishes a short or this person publishes a short, these people, respond to it, so let's, show it to them. Then you have those people that already are enjoying your content there to where when you do have that big thing that you're trying to bring attention to, then those people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this person and listen to what it is they have to say because they always give good content. And then you let them know, hey, I've got, long form videos or, whatever the thing is, but you still try to make that shorts appropriate too. But that gives you the opportunity to speak to those people that are already into what it is that you're doing on shorts and then try to, just spread awareness about whatever project that you're working on. Any additional thoughts there, Dee?
Nope. None whatsoever. I'm stuck on Zimbabwe.
Okay. Yeah, other things too, like the related video link. Like when you add that, sometimes people are just going to go there by themselves, right? And then Andrew says here, you can you can use call to actions back to the full video. It can work surprisingly well. Like in his case, he's working with channels that are getting views at like, massive scale. So, with there, he has the benefit of numbers, right?
It's a numbers game.
So if you are, if you are getting views at scale, then in that case, the call to action, can absolutely be helpful. And call to actions are impactful like always. But when it comes to shorts, because they are that shotgun approach, you do want to make sure that you are building up that audience over there before you try to send them over. You don't want to just be trying to send people over all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but I'm just saying if you want the short to do well so that you can get the most long-term leverage from that short, then in that case, serve people where they're at and where they're wanting to consume content.
Yeah, I don't always
and
want
then
to
it helps the brand overall long-term instead of just trying to get them over to long video.
I don't always want to be led into a longer video.
Right.
So I just want to consume a short sometime.
Right. Yeah, I'm sitting there waiting for you to come out of your place.
Doom scrolling.
YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. I'm not in. Right.
Yeah. Like I don't have time to watch long form video. He could pop up any second now. So I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to sit here and watch shorts while I'm waiting for him to come out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's the more clear way to say it. Like you can do it though, right? You can
do it.
Yeah, you can do it. So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that consider when it comes to shorts that you can build up the audience there so that you can have viewers there that know, like, and trust you, so that you can use that later to bring attention to bigger things you might be working on.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. And hey, just a quick reminder. So we were talking before about TubeSpanner, and I'm going to show this to you because I mentioned before, and I don't want to forget to do this. And Dee reminded me a second ago, and I almost forgot until just now.
I was about to remind you again.
Yeah, thank you. So with TubeSpanner, which as a reminder, they sponsored the live stream today, but they just did like a complete overhaul on everything with their system. Andrew Can, who's in the chat right now, he works for some pretty large channels. Like one of them has like 22 million subscribers. But he's going to be showing you how to use TubeSpanner to help you with your YouTube channel. As soon as this stream is complete, this is going to automatically send you over there. So you definitely want to participate in that. Plus, I'm going to be live streaming over on the TubeSpanner channel on channel reviews this coming week on Wednesday. So if you are wanting to participate in that, then make sure you go over and you subscribe to the TubeSpanner YouTube channel. But I'm going to show you the inside of TubeSpanner here, the actual website, just so you can kind of see what's going on there. I'm just going to quickly go through this, just so you can kind of see what it is. And again, this part is sponsored by TubeSpanner. And because they are doing like their relaunch, we'll call it, they have a promotion right now to where for the next 7 days, if you sign up for a Max account over there, they give you 3 months for free. And all you have to do is use the coupon code NIMMIN 2025. So NIMMIN 2025. And then that will get you that particular discount where you can try it for 3 months. And if you don't like it, right, within that 3 month period, if you're like, I'm not using this, or whatever, like you can cancel. So so then you don't have to worry about anything. So first is the dashboard itself. So here, this is just I'm just showing you this really quick because this isn't like a tool outside of this area right here that shows you the content that you have published. But in terms of what they do, if you look over here on this left-hand side, they show you over here that they help you plan, produce, and promote your content. So on the planning side, this is just where they have like channel objectives and audience targeting, and they help you come up with content ideas. So on the channel objectives, one of the cool thing about TubeSpanner is because it does have like an AI core in the back end. But just to make that easy, they just have a system in the back end that looks at your channel objectives, and it helps you it kind of caters some of the things that you're doing within TubeSpanner to your channel objective. So if your objective is to earn a living from YouTube, some of the information that it's going to do is like for video ideas and things like that is going to help you talk about topics that you might be able to monetize. When it's having fun, then it's just going to be a little bit more free and not as, like promoting on like the topics that you're making there for the monetization side. If it's to promote a business, then in that particular case, it's going to, work on topics that are more around that, but it does that through the whole system. When it comes to audience targeting with this one, it helps you identify your target viewer, and it also helps you be able to define that. So in other parts of the tool, that you can also cater to this particular type of viewer. So like, let's say, for example, like in my case, I'm targeting YouTubers. That in that case, I tell it that I'm trying to reach that particular avatar, and then it makes sure that everything that it's recommending to me is going to be a good fit for that particular type of viewer. We call that an avatar, in case you're not familiar with that language. And then we have the content ideas, and this is similar to the other tools where basically you can say, for the avatar, and then it's just going to, list out, some video ideas for you. But it's just a great way if you don't know what videos to make to where it'll help you, be able to do that. So for example, I'm just going to do YouTubers, and we're going to see how, I misspelled it. Oh, no, I didn't. It's just bad eyes is what you call that. But yeah, we'll see what this comes up with here. Yeah, day in my life as a full-time YouTuber. If I filled out my avatar, this would be a little bit more around like growth stuff, but it says, top 10 YouTube channel growth tips, reacting to my first YouTube video, overcoming creator burnout, that kind of stuff. So it's all relevant, to my channel. And then on the produce content side, it'll help you write titles. It'll help you write scripts. So one of the things with the scripts that's really cool is if you don't know how to start a video, or you just don't know, like, okay, I want to talk about this thing, but I don't really know all of the talking points in that thing, then in that particular case, let me just kind of use the script tool to just see if I can, come up with some stuff. So here I'm just going to do like features of the Sony a7S III, script summary, talk about, features of the Sony A7S III. And then here, I'm going to hit generate a script. This part right here takes a little bit of time. I know she's turning on like the CDN thing, so it makes everything faster around the world or whatever. So I'm not sure if that's on or not yet. But anyway, what this is doing is just kind of looking into the subject and all that stuff, and then it'll end up, you know, kind of printing out that that side. So I'm just going to kind of let it ride here. And I'm just going to wait a few seconds, and then we'll just move on to a different thing. I'll just refresh it to kill it. Okay, so I'm refreshing that to kill it. So yeah, I guess she hasn't turned on the CDN stuff yet. So, but anyway, that'll give you a script so you can just say, okay, here's some talking points, right? And then let's see here. It also has a thumbnail builder in here to help you make thumbnails. It has that description tool. You can access all of those things that I mentioned in the extension here. It has the promote side. So it has the bio pages. Now, the cool thing about the bio pages is, here, take this down real quick, D. I got it. So one of the cool things about the bio pages, I'm going to pull up mine, .com/bio.
You got another super chat.
Yep, answer that right here in a second.
Yep.
So when it comes to this, oops, I shared the wrong screen. So the bio tool is cool because what this does is it allows you to interconnect all your social media accounts. You can add background graphics to this. I keep mine just kind of clean, but you can add background graphics to this, and you have your channel profile. You can put your blurb in here, and you can add links to your channel. I choose to leave this TubeSpanner watermark on here just to kind of promote it, but you don't have to do that. You can turn that off too. And with this, you can also add videos to this thing. You can add text, or not text, but images to this as well. So if you do anything where you're promoting anything, you have courses, you have anything that you're selling, you have a business, anything like that, you can also add images in here that advertise those things and that kind of stuff, which is really cool. So that particular thing is a tool that I use like a lot. And what else do we got here? Yeah, the content scheduler, which I've already showed you, so I don't have to show you that. And they have the notes and chapters, so yeah, I don't have to show you that. Yeah, I know I'm not showing it. I'm just kind of looking through here real quick. Yeah, and then all the search stuff. So yeah, so basically, as you can see inside, that is where you do more of the like workflow stuff. And then in the browser extension, it also helps as an extension of that on the workflow side in terms of, you know, helping you do things right within the YouTube interface. But again, you can find that at tubespanner.com. If you want to hook me up with an affiliate commission, you can go to tubespanner.com/Nick. If not, totally fine. I just want you to go over there and check it out. And again, that promo code is NIMN2025. So if you are, you know, wanting to check that out, then just make sure that you do use that promo code, and it'll give you 3 months free of the max plan. If you go to the plus plan, then in that case, it doesn't apply to that because it's already super cheap. It's like 2 coffees in terms of the price. But if you go to the max plan, then use that coupon code to get 3 months free. So next up, we have Demon's Row. Thanks for the super chat, dude. Can you talk a little bit about viral versus search-based content? I've mastered search, but but viral, I feel like I rely more on news. How do you manufacture viral? So when it comes to viral, part of the thing with viral is it is usually on like trending topics. It's usually on, you know, content that is just super high performing, meaning that the content is relevant to a larger amount of people. So one of the things that happen is like when we niche down with content is that we can niche down too much sometimes to where what it is that we're doing is good for, you know, the audience that we're trying to reach. But sometimes we don't make content decisions, especially if we are targeting the recommendation features. We don't make content decisions that are going to reach the largest amount of people that are interested in our subject matter, right? So because of that, it can cause the issue to where when we are publishing content, that it's just going out to a subset of people. Therefore, when it's showing to a lot of people that might be interested in our topic, they're not interested in that part of the topic, right? Because that particular part is a subset of our audience. So if you're trying to get the highest response out of the recommendation features, what you have to make sure that you're doing is for the people that you're targeting, you have to make sure that the videos have the largest, we call that total addressable market or market reach. You know, there's a bunch of different ways to phrase it, but basically you want to make sure that it has the potential to reach as many of those people that are interested in what it is that you're doing as humanly possible. And by reach them, I just mean that it could be of interest to the largest amount of people. I actually have And let me see if I can pull this up here really quick. But I have like some examples that I've done in presentations, and I'm going to see if I can pull this up really quick for you and jump to it really quick. I should be able to.
Roberta says, for viral, you'd have to break a news story or be the first mover or have really early access to something. I went viral for me by getting access to a product 2 weeks before big YouTubers.
Yeah, just give me 1 second here. I have something loading here in the background.
Hey, Nikki, how you doing? Good to see you here. Stanley, how you doing? Jerry says, TubeSpanner helps me save so much time and keeps me focused on a creative task.
Hey, D, your mic's off.
Always when I'm dropping the secrets. Secrets of the universe. That was it. That was it. The juice, the secret juice. His mic
My
is
PowerPoint
off.
just completely froze up.
There you go. I was reading what Roberta said. Roberta says, for viral, you'd have to break a news story or be the first mover or really early access to something. I went viral for me by getting access to a product 2 weeks before big YouTubers. And then I said, hello, Nikki. Nice to see you.
See here, I'm just looking for a specific example right here that I can show.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? Welcome. Michael says, I'm new here, guys. Welcome. It's your first stream. You missed 99% of the stream, but welcome to the tail end of the stream. This will be available for a replay. Will you have chapters on this a little bit later?
Yes.
There will be chapters available for the replay not too long after we're finished live streaming. Shamoke Shop, how you doing? What are you looking for?
Okay, so I can't show you all of this just because contractually I'm not allowed to show everything in here for I think it's like 90 days or something like that. But I can show you like
schmontract.
But I can show you like a little bit here, and you've probably seen me give this example just like kind of manually as well, like in the stream. But one of the differences when it comes to search content versus recommendation content is to make sure that the content is appropriate for the for a larger group of people. So, and I also give this reference in one of the recent videos that I published too, about, just growing the channel for small creators. But the idea is like, if you are targeting like YouTube search, then in that particular case, like if it was for the Nim and Mouse 3000, then in that particular case, Nim and Mouse 3000 is something nobody knows about.
Oh, why are you showing them the mouse?
But that's something that nobody knows about, and therefore, nobody's actually going to be searching for that. So because of it, you have to, make it more about the viewer, and you do that through something that I call the audience bridge. And the idea is that you have the same exact mouse, but instead you make that particular mouse. And I know this doesn't apply directly to you, Demons Row. I'm just giving you this as as an example. But basically, in this particular case, I make it about the people that might be interested in this particular thing. So here, it would be the same exact mouse, but I frame the entire thing differently. So this mouse doubled my productivity because nobody knows about the Nim and Mouse 3000. So this mouse doubled my productivity is going to reach people that are interested in productivity. And you can see that there. And then if it was for my audience, then I would take that same exact mouse and I would do this, cut my editing time in half. And the idea there is that you are opening it up a bit because instead of people having to look for that very specific thing, then it allows you to be able to frame that, content in a different way that it makes it instantly apply to a larger group of people. Same exact thing, if you're, trying to reach gamers and, that kind of stuff. But the idea with it is that you want to make sure that when it comes to your content that you are, there's just more stuff for that. And again, I can't show too much in here. That's why I'm trying to kind of be a little bit, whatever with this. But the idea is that you want to just make sure that with whatever it is that you are publishing, that you want to, just make sure that it reaches, a large amount of people as possible. I go in more detail on that in that video that I published. So make sure that you check that out. And you can see in the timestamps, Demons Row, to jump directly to that particular part. And that part is where I'm talking about making sure that your content does have the widest reach possible. I think it's called something like increase view potential for that particular timestamp. So check that out for kind of a deep dive on that.
That looked good. You gave everybody a sneak peek of the The mouse that's never coming.
Yeah, right.
Good job.
So next up, we've got the Speakers Creator Hub is the next channel. They upload 1 time per week or more. The type of channel is content creation for beginners, so they can't make passive income through their content creation. Content creation for beginners, so they can't. Not sure what that is. Goal is to become a full-time YouTuber. And it says, let's see here, FlexClick gave me a sponsorship in 28 days of consistent creating. I was monetizing 3.5 months, and then I was demonetized in 4.5 months for loading a TikTok video. I jumped into this with absolutely no knowledge at all. $100 laptop, a state phone, and an Amazon tablet, and I turned it into an Android 2 months later. Got a strike for another channel that was canceled. Transparency Insurance, they took that channel down, took my main channel. Months later, they gave it back. I wanted to appeal later. My privileges got in February. Trying to get to the question here.
Sounds like they're having some issues.
Had 268 videos, but took down 150 for the reused content. And it wasn't reused content. It was perceived not to be original content because my volume was too low. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're asking here with this. So I see all the things that you're talking about. Hold on. Oh, my question is headed in the right direction, or am I just hopeless? Give it to me straight. I love you guys, by the way. Okay. I see I see it now. Got it. I was actually reading the context section for the actual question. So yeah, I got it. Very clear question there. So if you've had issues with your channel to where you're having to delete 150 videos because it's considered reused content, it's probably not because the volume is low. Like their system detects things based on content that's been uploaded. So it's probably not because the volume was low. Like there's not a penalty for having low volume videos. It's probably because, it was reused content in some way, or if their system detected it in error, then you should have disputed that. And if it was an automated, response, then in that case, you should have kind of tried to, get some attention on x.com. To the handle called Team YouTube, because Team YouTube is
at Team YouTube.
Yeah, at Team YouTube. They are YouTube's customer service over there. So I would reach out to them and just try to get it kind of on point there.
Yeah, that many videos down, there's a pattern there.
Yeah, like that's a lot of videos. So I'm not sure what you were doing there, but if you were doing shady stuff on that channel and you just didn't know any better, that happens, right? To where you're like, hey, I see all these people clipping streamers, so I'm going to do it. Well, in that particular case, you might have done something wrong and you just didn't know about it at the time. So therefore, what I would do is I would clear out any content that is not yours. And if you have just been republishing a lot of the same stuff, then I would do that same exact thing to where there's one single version of, the videos that you make on the channel. And then from there, I would start a new channel and just start fresh. Yeah. And then that way, you're starting with a clean slate and you're doing it before you run into too many problems with this channel. Because what happens is if this channel gets terminated, then based on YouTube's terms of service, you're not allowed to start another YouTube channel. And if they detect that you start another channel, they'll terminate that one too. So because of that, if you've had these problems with this channel, and just because you didn't know any better, they don't care. Like ignorance isn't, the law. Is that phrase?
Not an excuse.
Not an excuse. Yeah, ignorance isn't an excuse for those types of things. So because of that, I would take down anything that you think might even be remotely risky, and then just start a new channel. And then that way you're starting on a clean slate. Now you know not to do those things, and you're giving yourself the opportunity to just start fresh and just start publishing, content for people and trying to grow the channel. All right. So if you are a new content creator, or if you're just kind of hitting the walls and you're not quite there yet, I do want to remind you that YouTube does come with a learning curve, just like anything else that you do. If you're trying to get fit, if you're trying to learn how to play an instrument, play a sport, start a new job, you start a new hobby, anything, you got to learn all the stuff about it in order to be able to do it well. The general rules are 10,000 hours to be good at something. Yep. So when it comes to YouTube, just look at it like, okay, I'm in the learning curve right now. If you're not, getting those results, and just so you know, everybody is always, because this stuff is always changing. So we're all constantly in that learning curve. But when you're first getting started, it's just more intense because there's just a lot more to learn to get you up to speed. So because of that, don't get discouraged. Instead, when you publish videos and they just don't do well, just look at it and say, okay, how can I make this better? And sometimes it's based on things that you're not doing. Sometimes it's based on things that you're doing, but you just have to keep working on the craft. And instead of just watching a bunch of like YouTube help videos, and I know this is kind of counterintuitive because I have a YouTube help channel, but instead of watching a bunch of YouTube help videos that are just talking about, you know, like some things are valuable, like that video that I made, like I was talking about with, I try to make valuable content, but sometimes that content, people just aren't ready for some of it either. Like sometimes you need to learn how to edit a video before you even need to watch my videos in the first place. Sometimes you need to learn how to make thumbnails and titles. My content will help you with that. But sometimes you need to learn how to do, you know, some things in order for some videos to even make sense. So because of that, focus most of your efforts on, like, you need to learn YouTube and you need to learn best practices and all that stuff that we teach, but focus more on your skill sets and the understanding of the viewers that you're trying to reach. And by doing that, you're going to develop the skills that will allow you to see things differently, and that will allow you to understand things differently, which will allow you to actually get through some of those, you know, problems that you're having. So I just encourage you to embrace the learning curve, hang in there. You got this.
You got a super chat.
And really quick, Love Lines and Lesses says, you lit up one very determined Gen X woman, already tweaking everything. Thank you for the spark. You have mail. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat, and I will check the mail. So as soon as I close this stream, I'm done until Tuesday. So I will respond to that email on Tuesday. So everybody have a great rest of your weekend. TubeSpanner has just gone live over on that channel. So if you are interested on checking out more of TubeSpanner and seeing how it can help you from the workflow side of things, they're doing an entire stream that will help you with that. And as soon as I hit this end button, you're going to see a little video that's going to a super fun video with me and my dog Popcorn that reminds you to subscribe on your way out. And then it's going to instantly drop you over into their stream. So have a great rest. I will, Renee. Thank you. So have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you next time.
Yep.
Dee, great stream.
Great stream.
Yep.
See you next week.
Also, make sure you check out the stuff in the description too. A bunch of stuff down there for you. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Hit the sub button, hit the like button. If you're having fun, comment, type something. If you're laying back, leaning and engaged, just take a second to smash the whole page.